Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Kill Connor Club podcast, episode 19. I'm one of your hosts, Tyler, obviously with James, as always.
How's it going?
And special guest, Nick, or Aftermath, the host of the Animus Island podcast on YouTube, as well as, of course, the moderator for the Assassinscreed subreddit. Welcome, Nick. How's it going, man?
It's going great, Tyler. Pleased to be here.
We're glad to have you here. We were on your podcast only a couple months ago, and that was a great time, and we thought, what better way, return the great favour and have you on the Kill Connor Club, and you can experience our unprofessionalism for your professionalism.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's good. Got a bit to get through today, and
Do you have a list?
I do have a list. Of course I have a list. I put in
Do we get to hear what's on the list?
Of course you do. That's the point. James never knows what's on the list before we start. We're co-hosts, but I always just am like, oh no, you'll find out, man. You'll find out what we're doing today. Unless, of course, James comes back one day and he has this massive list of stuff and topics, and I'm like, holy shit.
Never gonna happen.
So before we started, you guys started talking about Far Cry Primal, because that's what you're playing at the moment, Nick.
Yeah.
So is that so what is you said they've just released Survivor mode? Like, what is that?
So, one of the main criticisms with the base game was that a big part of it is being afraid all the time, because because it's the Stone Age, everything wants to kill you.
Sure.
But they didn't go far enough with it. Like, you have a mini-map and stuff like that. Doesn't make it feel like you're constantly afraid if you can see all the animals on the mini-map. So they just released this Survivor mode where it strips you of basically everything else. So now you have a stamina system where you can't run and sprint and jump as much as you want. They've removed the map completely, so you have to use your sensors and on-screen indicators and things like that. And alongside this update, they've also released the permadeath system. So now it's even harder if you want it to be.
Holy fuck, that sounds ridiculous.
You know, I changed my mind. I was saying it was pretty bad, but that sounds pretty cool.
That does sound cool. Why do you think it's bad, James?
I might
I
do
thought
that.
you liked it.
Well, I personally didn't. I didn't enjoy it. Like, I mean, well, of course I said I enjoyed it. Ubisoft gave it to me for free. But, no, basically, like,
Jesus
I
Christ.
played it. I did a video on it, and I played it for probably like an hour and a half, maybe. But I just didn't get a feel from it, like I did from Far Cry 3 as a game that I loved. I played the shit out of Far Cry 3, and Far Cry 4. Far Cry 4 didn't have the same feel and the same, like, I liked Far Cry 3 for a lot of reasons, and Far Cry 4 didn't have the same as Far Cry 3, and I think Far Cry Primal tried to work off of Far Cry 4 a lot, so because I didn't like Far Cry 4 that much, I didn't like Far Cry Primal. Like, it was an interesting concept, and the Survivor mode sounds really cool, but the base game I just never got into. It might have been the fact that I was playing on PC, and we know what Ubisoft PC ports are like.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It's very similar to Far Cry 4.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played Primal at all.
I didn't really like Far Cry 4 either. I think it's mostly because of the story for Far Cry 4 for me, but I like Primal's story, funnily enough.
What's the story like?
The story is very simplistic. It's a very simple story arc, and so that's gotten some criticism. But the characters I really love. They've made all the characters super unique, and friendly and nice when they're supposed to be friendly and nice, and imposing and evil when they're supposed to be. I really like it.
Okay. Yeah, see, I again haven't played Primal, because I kind of made the choice, because the Division came out so close to it, and I decided on the Division, but then again, I did get the Division for free, so I don't really have any excuses for not getting Primal after all that, but...
Yeah, you don't. You could have got Primal. If I got Primal, Australia would have given you Primal, surely.
Yeah, but I didn't really want it that much, like, I don't have the time. I only had time for one, and even then, I haven't had a huge amount of time to play the Division, but I fucking love the Division so much. I
got bored of it.
What level did you get to?
Fuck knows, I don't remember. It was months ago.
Really?
It only came out last month.
Yeah, I was like, well, it wasn't months ago. You're a liar.
I got to like level, I want to say 15.
Scrub.
Well, yeah, but I only played it for like 3 days.
Dude, the best part, like, I had a great time just playing up to level 30 and stuff, but the best part's when you're level 30 and you jump on with a group and you go on the Dark Zone. It's actually the most fun when you go to the Dark Zone and stuff, and you're freaking the fuck out. It's like, it is that fear moment, like you were talking about with Survivor Far Cry Primal, where you're just with your 4 friends, and because I was playing and there's a group of us, and we're all just trying to find loot and stuff, and there's this building that we wanted to go in and kill some high-level enemies. And then there were these other groups of people going in there, and we're like, oh, if we go in with them, they seem like cool people, it'll be fine. We let them go in first, and there was these high-level Dark Zone rank guys that had stealth mode on and were hiding inside waiting for people to come in, and just massacred them. And we're just freaking out, like, run! It was a really cool experience to do that whole Dark Zone stuff. It is fun.
Yeah, maybe it'd be fun, but I don't have friends, so...
You have me.
Unfortunately, I got not a play. Yeah, but you live, like, in a place that's, like, always dark when it's light here.
That's an interesting way to describe time zones. I like it.
To be fair, your ancestors sent my ancestors here, so...
Look, if I could go back and change it, I would, but... Or I'd come with you. Nah, I wouldn't. I couldn't live in Australia.
Why?
Spiders, man.
Yeah, see, I was talking about this, I was talking about this to my friends that are staying with me, because they asked me about the podcast, and they said, why doesn't, they're just like, are you ever going to go over to the UK and do a podcast in person? They're just like, is he ever going to come here? I'm like, he's never coming here. He's too scared of spiders. He's way too scared of spiders. But, like, there's not that many spiders. Well... I guess compared to where you are, there's a lot, but to me, who's used to living here in this godforsaken death trap, it's okay. It's all okay. Yeah, well, I did want to talk to you, Aftermath, about something that's happened over the last couple of days that I haven't seen you talk about, but Colin and Brett talked about it, because you guys were picked this year for Ubisoft Star Players at E3, and you guys found out that there's an age restriction of 21 over the last week. How did that all happen? Well, first of all, how did you become a Ubisoft Star Player, and then how did you find out that there was this huge misinformation and communication that went on?
Okay, so I can't talk about a lot of it.
Oh, really?
Because
okay.
NDAs and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I can talk about what has been said, because the other two talked about it quite a bit on Twitter and stuff. So the way I originally became a star player was that the community teams for each of the franchises offer up a bunch of nominees to the star players team at Ubisoft. So last year, I actually originally was invited to become one, but I could not go to E3 because my family is going on a vacation to New Zealand at the same time, so I could not participate that year. But because I was already on the list, I was then invited to become one this year. And so did Brett and or Ubi Central, and so did Column of the Facebook page, the ones that came before. And so we were all excited about that and stuff like that. And then they asked us for more information. I think it was maybe a week or two after we were told that we can talk about it on Twitter and stuff being accepted. And then so we sent out information through like age and passport and nearest airport and stuff like that. So because they're paying for all flights and that stuff. Yeah. And then I got an email back, and he was just like, "Oh, 17, no, you can't go." He said it a lot nicer than that. Yeah. But that was basically it. And so then, and he was like, a hard set age restriction of 21 because of course, legal reasons, which I understand. But they didn't mention that very upfront, which maybe they should have. I don't know. And that was that. And now we're kind of like, okay, I guess we have to tell everyone that we're actually not going.
That's
and
weird.
Stuff. And I contacted Brett and Cole, and I was like, "Did you get this email?" And he hadn't got this email yet, because I guess the guy just hadn't gone around to that. To Brett on the list, and I was like, "Wait, man, you're 19, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I sent him a screenshot of the email, and he started contacting his people, and I started talking to my people, and we found out that we just like couldn't go.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
That would destroy me. Like,
Yeah.
Way to soften the blow for him there, James.
I had to voice it, man. I was feeling it. My heart was breaking.
That is
I gotta let it out.
certainly a bitter pill
Yeah.
to swallow.
Yeah, I haven't been taking it too hard. I think that Brennan Cole are maybe taking it worse. I don't know if there's other, because they sent out to like all the Ubisoft franchises. So I don't know if they had this issue last year or if other people having this issue as well. But like I've already been to Montreal and things like I've already been so gifted by these people that like I can understand it's just a mix up and it had nothing to do with the community team. So I have no hard will for them because they weren't. It's also really stupid that they weren't told that there was an age restriction because like they know our ages, but they weren't informed of that. So yeah, I'm not all that bothered by it. It's unfortunate. I would have liked to go on, but I can just watch E3 from home, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to Brett the other day. Actually, it was after the Dead Set cast when you had to go do some essay or some shit. But I was talking to Brett about the whole E3 thing. This was before, obviously, you knew that you couldn't go. And Brett was saying to me, he didn't even know if he was going to go. He was like, because the main reason for that was the whole making videos. Like, when you're at the event, you can't cover it as well as when you're, like, at home watching it from the internet. So that's a thing that I kind of realized it's kind of like, if you go, you can't make all these videos on it, which are really important.
That's true.
That's definitely part of it.
That's true. And I mean, it is one of those things. That's a good way to look at it, though, Nick, because I mean, it's a really super positive way to look at it to just be like, yeah, no, that's okay because I've got all these other opportunities. So I credit for that. But I mean, definitely, I don't get why you wouldn't have known that. Like, not you, but like how they wouldn't have known directly contacting you. Like you said, they know your ages, and it's not their, let's face it, it's not their first time going to E3. I just thought it seems like something they would have already known. In a
Yeah, it was
strange
just
way.
like these kind of mix-ups happen in large companies, I guess, because the two teams, the community team and then the star players team, are so disparate that there just wasn't too much communication between them, I guess. And like all the community team got was like, give us some nominees to make star players. And so that was all the information they had. And I think it could have been avoided if there was a bit more communication, but I guess this stuff just kind of happens, really. And like in the initial communication with the star players team, maybe they should have mentioned some like basic guidelines, like being able to get a visa for people who live outside the country and stuff like that. But they didn't. I guess they failed to mention that. And of course, I think the biggest issue is allowing us to post about it on Twitter. That was probably the biggest issue for me, is that they allowed us and said that, yes, you can, please do, go tell everyone you're a star player. And now it's come back and bit them because now we have to say, actually, we're not.
I think that is the strangest thing, especially since by the time they go, yeah, you can tell people, I just would have assumed that sort of stuff would have already been sorted out. Like I just assumed it had. I was like, oh, okay, I assume you guys have probably already got whether it be visas for other people or, just flights or just all that information had already been passed on. And then they're like, okay, all confirmed. Now you can give the thumbs up, tell people. That's just what I assumed happened. Yeah. So when I heard all this started, as soon as, I saw Colin first, and then I just assumed, okay, that means you and that means Brett as well. So I was like, oh man, like that sucks because, I mean, as a person that watches you guys as well, it would have been great to hear from you guys directly about how the experience was and all that sort of stuff. So I was going to live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, there's E3 will be there next year, the year after. So I'm sure you'll have another chance.
Yeah. And I'm going to PAX East in 2 weeks' time, maybe a week and a bit time, I think. So it would be great to see. Andy will be there. I don't know how many people from the community will be there, but it would be great to go and be involved in an event this year, even if it isn't E3.
Yeah, that's cool. Is PAX East in Boston? Is I'm gonna say?
Yeah.
Okay, that's exciting. And what's the weather like in Boston this time of year? Is it cold as fuck?
Freezing cold.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Basically, the complete opposite to Arizona. Not looking forward to it.
No, that'll be good. I've never even been to a proper event. Like I went to.
Oh, I have.
Have you? What did you? Oh, you've gone to EGX.
I went to EGX.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I because I got the press pass.
Ah, Mr. Press.
I got two. That would have been £120, but I got them both for free for me and Luke, because fucking celebrity shit.
Just rubbing it in. Yeah. See, I've always had to pay. No, I've only been to. I wouldn't even know if it counts. Like, it's not really a. I've went to RTX Australia in Sydney, but that's like a private company event, an expo. It's not really like a PAX or any of that type of stuff, if you know what I mean. So it's very different. So I don't even know. Yeah, you wouldn't count that. I don't think there's not like there's press passes to go there or anything. It's just here's your ticket, show up, have a good time. That's it. But I mean, I would always like to go to whether it be E3 or go to PAX or wherever. There's a PAX in Australia. I just never go. I'm just lazy. I'm just that guy. Just never organises anything ahead of time. I also, on the list, heading back to my organised list of professionalism that is Kill Connor Club.
I love it.
You, Nick, on your podcast have asked us many questions about how we how we started on YouTube and in the Assassin's Creed community and everything. Now it's our opportunity to ask you that. Because you know everyone knows you. How did you get involved originally and become a moderator for the Assassin's Creed subreddit, and in turn make all these great friends that you now work with through various means of communication, whether it just be on Twitter or with Animus Island and all that sort of stuff?
I first got into Assassin's Creed when AC2 came out, and I bought the first AC. Blah, 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 blah. Then AC3 was released. By this time, I must have been 13, I guess. And I was a massive fan of the games, and my cousin mentioned that the AC subreddit was freaking out about AC3. To me, that sounded like everyone thought it was great. Apparently, when I would let it actually go on, it turns out that everyone hated the game.
Yeah.
And hated Connor, but
Correct,
that's a different matter.
Yeah. Correct answer.
Hence the name of hence the name of this podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd heard of Reddit by then, but I didn't really like the UI and stuff like that. It's very grating to new users. But I decided to give it a try because I was a massive fan of AC, and so I hopped on. And I made an account pretty much straight away, and I was a lurker for the most part, occasionally commenting for the first 9 months or so, till AC4 was released, and that's when I started posting 6 or 7 times a day, comments and
Holy
posts
shit,
and things like that, and posting all the news, and so people quickly started to notice me, and that was how I became kind of well known around the subreddit. But how I became a mod is a much more long-winded story. Basically, there were these 2 mods that had been the mods since the subreddit had first started. They were kind of massive dickheads, and they eventually brought on some new people because I managed to convince them that we needed some new people. And I didn't end up being one of them, and everyone freaked out. Not everyone, but a lot of people, for the scale, at least for me,
Sure.
were sending the messages and posting on subreddits, and it was making new subreddits. Sometimes when a moderating team does something wrong or something that the fan base sees as bad, a splinter group can start and they'll make a new subreddit. I think 3 or 4 subreddits were made because I wasn't added as a mod, so that will tell you something about how crazy whole few weeks was. But the time moves on, though the 2 dickheads eventually left, and so then people that were left on the mod team were Fred, who's a good friend of mine. He's been on Animus Island a few times. Tarul, who is now a good friend of mine. I didn't really know him at the time. And Flash, who he's a nice guy, but he's left the mod team now. And eventually I managed to convince them that I'd be a good mod. And I had different plans for the subreddit. I was working on the wiki system, and I wanted to improve the rules, and I wanted to create a subreddit-focused podcast. and that would become Animus Island, which ended up being more of a community-based podcast than just a subreddit one. And I managed to convince them that being a mod would allow me to do that much more effectively. And I became a mod. And after a week, they actually managed to trust me or got bored keeping an eye on me. And I became a full mod. And then I began the podcast. I think the podcast probably allowed me to branch out in the community a lot more than just being a mod on the subreddit. But that's kind of how I got to where I am. Bit of a long-winded story.
Well, hey, that's what the Kill Connor Club is. Have you listened to Tyler's Tales before? They're long-winded as fuck. Ask James. James will sit there and be like, wait, is the story over yet? Or what's going on? Like, can we finish this up?
That one you told that time, that was like 2 stories in one. Like you told, I remember when everyone thought it was over and you're like, yeah, that was the setup. And everyone's like, oh my god,
Everyone's
Tyler, what
losing
is
their
this
shit
one?
in the chat. Yeah, that was a good one, but I'd forewarned you about that story, James. And
You already told me that story.
yeah, because I
It was
told
after
him
the
like,
Luma podcast.
because I wasn't sure. I was like, should I tell this on the podcast because it's long? And then I told you, and you're like, when I go, that's the setup. You're like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
I just remember everyone in the chat when you told that setup was like freaking out, like, oh my god, there's more. Like, everyone was so pleased about it, though.
Juicy gossip about Tyler's personal life. Yes. So, back to Animus Island though. What was the main goal? Where did you want it to go? Because you said you wanted it to be a subreddit podcast. How did it become just a community-based podcast? Because I know I've gone back and listened. There was multiple co-hosts, it seemed like, but then you went out on your own after a certain amount of time.
So the goal from the very beginning was to do an episode a week for a year, and I'm very pleased that we managed to succeed in that. It's kind of slowed down since, but that was the original goal. And so it was originally going to be a subreddit-focused podcast, as I said. If I don't know if anyone knows of the Ask Historians subreddit, which is the largest history-based forum on the internet, and they have a podcast that's just based around the subreddit. They have people, experts from the subreddits. They have discussions based on threads on the subreddit, things like that. So I was expecting it to be around that, where we would discuss maybe a topic that someone posted, and we would have guests from the subreddit. But eventually this became the perfect platform for something else I'd been trying to do, which was unite in some form or another the AC subreddits community and the UB forums community, because they are very, very separate. I think they're still very separate, but less so than what they were. Like, I was pretty big on the subreddit, and everyone knew me, and I knew everyone on there. But like, when someone was saying that they were big on the forums, or I met someone who was telling me that someone else was big on the forums, I hadn't heard of them or seen them or anything, because they're just so separate.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try and fix that in some way, and I've tried to do it in different projects on the subreddit by, like, convincing UB forums members to use the Reddit and things like that. But the podcast ended up being a really great way to do that, because both sides were listening to it, and through Twitter and things like that, I managed to bring like people like Assassin M on and Fatal Fate to come on and talk to us about what they do and what makes the UB Forum special, while we were also talking about what made the subreddit special. And I think a big part of it was the community developers, Andy and Justin and Gabe, and even some of the writers and the game devs like Darby, promoting the podcast, managed to spread it past the subreddits. And through that, we managed to turn into a community-based, a general Assassinscreed community-based podcast.
Okay, nice. I mean, that's pretty cool. All the support you got, man. Like, what was that like when you just expect to be, like you said, the subreddit one, and then you've got all these, developers, like you said, and people backing you on it?
It was absolute madness when. I remember, I think it must have been the second or third episode, and Darby tweeted it out and saying that, like, these guys are doing some great work, check them out. And I, like, screenshotted that, and that was, like, my desktop wallpaper for ages, and I showed that to everyone. It was almost bigger than when we were on the front page of iTunes. It was a much bigger deal than that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, Darby, it was just like shocking, and by this time I was good friends with Gabe and Andy and Justin, so it was a little less surprising to get really great feedback from them, although I really, really enjoyed it, and it was a big part of how we managed to keep going. But then when Darby came in and things like that, it was shocking, really amazing to hear how much people liked it. And then when I actually finally met Darby, he was like, "Oh man, I love the podcast." I was like, "Ah." So yeah.
I don't know if you can feel in Arizona the what's the word? Jealousy from the two of us right now. Because James and
getting noticed by Darby is the most difficult fucking task.
Yeah. He honeydicks us. That's 100% he does that. We've tried to. I mean, because I'm obsessed. I'm not sure if you know this, Nick, with the box, the infamous, the notorious box, and I am talking about ATS box here, not something else. People might get confused with. I remember this thing just got real awkward. When I tweeted at Darby once, sending him like one of my videos and stuff. And what did he reply with, James? Something like, because you were telling me, don't do it. He's just gonna troll you ultimately.
Like, I think he was like, we don't talk about the box, something like that. Something along those lines.
Ye must not talk about the box, we don't talk about the box, or something like that, or something. And then
something like that.
And then I just go, because we've been trying to get him on the podcast, and then the next message I'm like, okay, I've got him. I know he's seen my tweets. Now he has to respond. That's essentially was my goal. And then I just invite him on the podcast. Nothing. And then James says something. After that, then he likes that, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. So he just literally just skipped over. I'm like, we'll get him one day. So the jealousy is huge. The jealousy is massive from us. That's what I'm trying to say here, essentially. So you met Darby, yeah? How did that happen?
Oh hell yeah, baby! How did that happen? Really, it just all happened so fast. I'm not entirely certain. So let's travel back to. It must have been like October.
Aftermath Tales.
No, it wouldn't be October. It'd be September, I think. But Assassin's Creed Syndicate was coming out October 23rd. And the only reason I know that is because of this. But I can't remember.
Not because you liked the game or were excited or anything, just because of this.
No, nothing like that. But like, I can't even remember exactly how it went. But like, I got an email, and it was like, "Oh yeah, we'd love to have you in Montreal for this live stream," and I was like, "Oh yes." Well, I think originally it was just like, "We'd love to have you on for this live stream." I was like, "Oh yeah, sick! I've got Skype and I've got a good mic and everything like that, so I can hop on and like." And they were like, "Oh no, we're gonna fly in Montreal." And I was like, "Oh, yes."
Oh
fuck?
shit!
What the fuck?
That would be fucking crazy.
And that exact exchange happened every single time they announced it as well. Like the Reddit post where they announced this was going to happen was that they said like, when I have Aftermath on the you guys all know Aftermath and he's going to be on the stream, and then I posted a comment like, "Oh yeah, man, so excited to fly out to Montreal," and then everyone was like, "Wait, you're actually going to be there in person for the live stream?" So right, the way it happened. Oh man, you've just sprung this on me. I could have like looked up messages and stuff, so I wasn't saying wrong things. But
it's alright, just say
I don't think
things.
The details.
We do it all the time.
I'll just say wrong things. Okay. So it must have been like September, and like I got contacted, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'd love to fly out. We're gonna have you and a bunch of other community members on for the live stream. We'll take care of everything. You don't need to pay anything. Don't worry." And I think that's really how it was organized. And I was like, "Oh, yes. And so then October 20th came around. It must have been 20th, I think. And I went on a plane that they paid for, and I flew to Montreal airport that they paid for.
Yep.
And I got in a limo that they paid for, and it took me to this 5-star hotel that they paid for. And the next morning I got on a taxi that they paid for, and I went to Montreal studios, the course they pay for. And I went to the receptionist, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm here to see Gabriel Graziani." They pay for the receptionist too. She makes good wage. And then Andy came down wearing his assassin gear.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they did pay for Andy too. And he came down. He brought down the NDA because I can't talk about anything that happened inside the building.
Of course, yeah.
And we were chatting, waiting for the other two guys to show up, Cam and Medea, who were just amazing co-stars, co-guests, I guess. And it was great talking to them. And so...
Did they pay for the
conversation?
conversation?
We did No, they didn't pay for the conversation. I was not paid. And so we
Just
did a live
checking,
stream,
man,
and
just
I got a brief tour of the building. I saw what everyone was working on. I met some amazing people, met some of the devs, and then... So I kind of did one tour that was kind of brief during lunch, because we don't want to disrupt too much of the amazing work that those guys are doing. And then the second tour after the stream, we went up and everyone was leaving, and that was the one where they took me over to the AC offices, and I met basically all my idols. I met Raphael Lacoste. Ash was on his way out at the time, so I got to briefly talk to him. And then Andy disappeared into the back, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be right back." And I figured because like he had to go check on something, and because of course AC is always working on the next game, and of course we weren't allowed to see the next game. I was expecting, and so we were just hanging out and talking. I think we were talking to Raphael Lacoste at the time, and just looking around at the artwork that they have up there. And then like he came out with Andy, no, it wasn't Andy, it was Gabe. We were talking to Andy, and Gabe just walks out, and there's just this person behind him, which I recognized, and I couldn't tell who it was for a second, and then I realized, and then I was like, no. And then I was like, yes, and I was like, no. And I realized it was Darby, and like, I'm such a massive fan of Darby stuff, and I was like...
Choking up.
I couldn't speak, and then when he was like, "Oh hey, yeah, Nick, I loved you on the live stream this morning," and I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, and also I run this really obscure subreddit called Assassinscreed Circle Jerk, which is where we just like make fun of each other and crap like that, and like make the dankest of memes and shit. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you made the Circle Jerk subreddit, right?" Exactly, and he was like, "You made the Circle Jerk subreddit, right?" I was like, "I'm fucking shocked that anyone's even heard of that, because it's not a known thing. I doubt any of your listeners have ever heard of the Assassin's Circle Jerk subreddit."
I haven't.
Darby knew about it, and it was crazy. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you run the podcast too, right?" And I was like, "Oh my god." So that was amazing. I don't have anything else to say about that.
Jesus
My
Christ,
God.
that's like I think I'd die right there, and I'd be happy about it.
I'm crying.
Like I'd be fine with Jet there. Like so, Darby was just lurking about the Montreal offices. Like,
he was working when Gabe went back to go get him.
Of course, because so you don't know where the next game is. You're not like Luma that knows but can't tell anyone.
I can't speak on anything at all.
Of course.
Anything.
Of course, sorry.
Fucking hell!
I've signed like.
It's alright.
Yeah,
That's it,
so
I'm out of it, man.
I'm not
I'm out of it,
certain
man.
what's on most of them.
Okay.
Oh God.
Well. Okay then.
Jesus. Okay, well, Darby working on the next game confirmed. 100%.
I don't know about that. I think he usually Darby works on Ubisoft games, so I don't know if we can draw those conclusions.
That's
I'm gonna
true.
draw those conclusions.
That's true. Those are James's own conclusions, Ubisoft. Nothing that Nick said.
It's on behalf of the Kill Connor Club.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't care. You can put my name in there. I don't care.
Well, for the record, the fact that I met Darby McDevitt is already out there, and I was approved to post a picture of myself with him at the time. So they could have drawn these conclusions months ago,
It's
really.
alright. It's not like they
And
listen to the
I had no
podcast.
part of it.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's not like
listen to
Ubisoft know we exist. It's fine.
Except they do, and they. So they
They're just
absolutely
scared
do.
of us.
Or we're scared of them. I think. I'm not sure which one's which.
So, I didn't end up talking to Gabe and Andy about you guys too much. I didn't really talk to them about, especially not Darby. I couldn't speak to Darby because I couldn't handle it. I was having a bit of a meltdown.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Being
one of those
next door.
starstruck moments.
That'd be like us with
Yeah.
Roger Craig.
But I have talked to you two. I have talked about you two with other community members, and I think they all think you're pretty nice guys. And I'm not lying at all.
Okay. That sounds like a lie. That sounds like a massive lie.
That sounds like what you say when you're lying.
If you have to say, and I'm not lying at all, it sounds like a lie.
You bring us up and they're just like, oh, those two. Yeah, we don't talk about those two.
We don't talk about those two. We bounce around that line of what you should and shouldn't talk about because apparently we're allowed to talk about private, direct conversations that people probably think are private.
You're what,
Generally-
I think like I give you this bad name, Tyler. It's my fault because I talk shit about everything, and I just like I'm such a controversial person.
You
Like
are.
you're not as bad as me.
No.
But because we're on the same podcast, it's like they just
I
bring
talk
you
shit
into
about
it as
everything
well.
too.
Yeah, but I'm
I'm
worse.
constantly talking shit. I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
Did you
there
snap
was
the
a
Unity
3-hour
disc?
podcast
Okay, I did not snap my Unity disc.
on camera. Oh,
Okay.
God.
Upload
Like-
to anyway.
I managed to fit in a comment about Assassin's Creed Unity on the DeadSec podcast.
Yes. Well, actually, Brett asked you about Unity, so I don't think we
He
can
did.
mention that.
He did, but I was the one that brought it up. I was like, I gave it a score of 7.5, and I was like, I don't know why I did that. Never letting it go.
James is the controversial one. I'll admit. I mean, I'm the loud, obnoxious
I am.
one. But James is
As all
the...
Australians are.
Yeah,
You
thanks.
try so hard to be
Fucking
professional.
Kiwis.
I'm just direct.
Fucking Kiwis. You fucking Kiwi.
Yes.
Classic fucking Kiwi dig to an Australian. Hey, I'm half Kiwi. I'm half.
Okay.
Not really at all, but... I mean, technically I am, but I'm not really. I've never been to New Zealand. I don't need to go there. That's why you all move here, right?
They're less spiders in New
Don't even
Zealand.
ask me about why people move there. I moved to the US.
Yeah, you betrayed your own country. You left.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
getting
there is a saying in New Zealand. There's a saying in New Zealand. It's like when people move from New Zealand to Australia, it raises the IQ of both countries.
You know what? I think we're gonna end it there.
Excuse me. What does that even mean?
So what he's
because
saying
when
is
stupid
only
people leave, when the people that are dragging the average IQ down leave New Zealand, it goes up. But when our stupid people went to Australia, because it's full of stupid people, they push the average IQ up as well. See?
Get it. I get it. I'm an idiot.
you are an idiot.
That was not great. Don't worry. That was my bad.
It was hurtful, and my feelings are hurt. And, I don't have any brain damage. Dane Burmage. I know how to speak in the English.
You don't, man.
Are you kidding me? I correct you all the time.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, and you are English. You are English.
I couldn't spell fucking solely the other day.
He's like,
What was that about?
How do you spell solely? And I just correct him like, hey man, what's wrong with you? I don't know. I don't know, man.
How did he ask you? Were you guys in a call, or did he?
No, he just sent me a message, and he just like we're in mid conversation in message, and he just sent solely like SOULY. I'm like, it's
Oh, okay.
SOLE.
And I'm just like, wait, how do you spell that word?
It's SOLELY. You fucking idiot. No, it's alright, man. I forgive you. It's alright.
Thanks, man.
No, but
Appreciate it.
But like you said, that's why we're friends, man. Because even if you're controversial and you drag my name down into the dirt with you, I'm there to back you up, man. I'm always there to back you up. I'll never backtrack,
Oh god.
and that's why we're friends.
I'm gonna try my best. This year is gonna be the year where I simmer down a little bit. Not too much, because I gotta still keep that controversy flowing, but
Well, that's like anything. We were
I'm
talking.
gonna try my best, you know?
Well, we talked about this last episode, last week, when we were talking about, and we'll get onto this topic, Nick, because I want to get your thoughts on it. I'm not sure if you know about it, with the whole Tobuscus thing. And,
Yeah, I
What's
heard
that
about
got
it.
to do with anything?
yeah, because last week we were talking about it, and it's hard to take and sometimes hard to take a stance and say certain things, and
Oh, not for me.
I did say, well, that's the thing. I don't think anyone's gotten anywhere without taking a stance, because if we keep being neutral all the time on this podcast, which we never are, but if we were the people that were always neutral and blah, 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 you know, that's
Never
when people,
neutral.
like, they don't care what you have to say as much. If you're just like, well, who cares? They don't ever really make a decisive answer on anything, but we're always, rightly or wrongly, always have a stance on whatever we're going to talk about. Mostly wrongly, but we still have the stance. We're controversial.
Yeah, it's like, look, we knock Ubisoft a fuck. I knock Ubisoft a
let's
fuck
calm
ton.
down. Yeah, let's calm down. They're
They're
my buddies. Yeah.
But eventually, when they do something right, which I'm not saying will be soon, but eventually when they do something right, and I praise them, it's gonna mean so much to everyone, right? Like, if I like shit talk Ubisoft so much, but when they release, or like if Empire comes out or whatever the fuck it is, because you probably know whatever the fuck it is, and if it's really good, and I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. You know how many people are gonna like love it as well because they trust me? Like, they're gonna be thanking me. Ubisoft gonna be kissing my feet. Like,
okay, let's calm down, yeah, but
maybe not, but it's gonna be all worth this. Like, everything that happened with Unity and the Chronicles games, and I don't know what else have they done badly.
Oh God, don't.
Connor?
You don't want to start this list.
Connor, it's gonna if we start.
holy
this, it's gonna
shit,
last
the
all
rant's
night.
begun, and I love it so much. Keep going. I'm gonna keep fueling it.
I'm sorry, Ubisoft. I do like you. You made that really good game that one time. Remember AC2? It was really good. I mean, it was a long time ago, but
Wow.
I'm gonna keep living in that moment.
Ubisoft, I am not involved with James. He does not. I'm just like,
God, I've ruined everything.
we're never gonna get guests on ever, because as soon as you're like, I'll simmer down. You literally said, I'll simmer down, and then you went on a rampage.
It's just the alcohol. I say things I don't mean.
When you say things you do mean, that's actually.
Yeah, that's what it is. I say things I do mean but wouldn't say.
Oh my god. Well, at Ubisoft, I loved The Division. That was a great game. Syndicate was fun. That's a good list. But again, I can't really. Not like I do a shit. Our podcast is called the Kill Connor Club, and I'll stand by that till the day I die.
You know,
Just
I don't
because
mind.
I am on this podcast doesn't mean I agree with what these people say. I'm
No,
sorry,
it does.
so
That's
please
exactly what
bring
you
me back
signed-
to Montreal sometime.
Hey man, you
Me to
signed
agree.
the
Me you endorsed us.
yeah. You signed the
don't know. When
contract
did I do
saying
that?
you hate Connor before. Yeah, you had to. It was off the
It's
air.
the real
obviously.
thing.
Flip that. It's gonna get private.
Yeah, it was off the air, but like you did it. You have no proof that you didn't.
Well, now you're saying it on the air, okay?
Yeah, obviously, and you have no proof that you didn't do that. So I'm just gonna say it.
Oh jeez.
I'm in charge of editing. You did. I'll like audio cut your voice with like when you say things like I don't like and then like Connor and stuff like that, and I'll mix them all together.
It's just this really bad edited thing. That would be fantastic.
And it's obviously an edit. No, it's alright. It was the same with you. It was you who Luma did it. It was like one of the first things Luma said when he was on was, just because I'm on this podcast doesn't mean I hate Connor. I just want to get that out there. And we're like, well, that's the end of the podcast then. Well, good start. Good effort. We're 30 seconds in.
We
and it's
also
over.
don't hate Connor. Like,
Yeah,
well, I
we
mean,
do.
I don't hate Connor. Do you hate Connor, Tyler?
I don't hate a video game character because, you know, it's a video game character.
Okay. Extremely dislike the character of Connor.
Yeah, of course. He's a horrendous character. Horrible. I don't have a
I
positive
mean,
thing
he's not
to
the
say.
worst character.
Yeah, he is pretty horrendous.
There's been worse.
I don't know.
There's been worse. I'm defending him here. Ubisoft, love me. I'm defending you. Do you know how much that means?
Okay, let's
Like-
do this. You want to do this? Let's do this. Okay.
I want to do this.
Who's he better than? Who's he better than? I want to know
Fucking-
one main character.
Elise Delassere? Like,
She's not.
What
I'm
about
talking about
her?
main characters, man. Let's talk about main characters. I like Elise better.
oh,
She's-
main
She's got
characters.
tits, man,
Okay.
so it's
let me
automatically
think.
better
Let's-
than Connor.
Arno?
Let me think.
Arno, I love Arno way more than Connor.
That's fuck you.
That's weird,
Um,
man.
No, it's not.
Main characters. Who's Connor better than? Let me think of a really. Let me think.
Yeah, see,
The Chronicles
Agent
characters
Locke.
count.
Agent Locke. What about Agent Locke from Halo 5?
like him better.
Would you prefer to
than
play
Connor.
as Connor or really?
Yeah, I would. And you know how much I hate that. You know how much I hate
Whoa,
it. You know how much I hate
shit,
it.
you hate Connor. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. 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 That's true.
This has been the most controversial podcast I think we've done.
I doubt that highly, but okay.
Well, I mean, there's that 3-hour one that we're never going to release because there were some things said in that I don't want anyone to know about ever.
I don't really remember that. Most of it was pretty funny on my end, but you know, I've got that nice and saved on my computer, James. So
it was a good one. If I ever screw you over, like fuck your girlfriend or anything, then
totally,
you're probably
totally
gonna
what would
fix it.
happen. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
This whole lasers versus dynamite thing is really taking off.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
real.
Yeah.
Off screen, we hate each other. Like, you should see us at each other's throats.
I have seen you, and it's very true, audience. Just listen to them. They hate each other, truly.
Well, I mean, have you seen the promos we've done?
Yeah, I did see some of them.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
They speak for themselves, I think. That's certainly. I love how you just directed us from controversy onto something else, like so efficiently and fluently just then.
This is why you're a podcast host.
Yeah.
This is why.
Because James and I, when it's just the two of us, will just be like, go off on a tangent and just talk about shit. And you're just like, so, how about that other thing that's less controversial I'm going to get in less trouble for? Let's talk about that. I'm like, yeah, good point. That's way better. But it's going to happen when this pussy over here decides on a date he wants to play me.
Tomorrow, man. Tomorrow. No,
I'll play you right
I'm kidding.
now. I'll play you right now.
Alright, fucking load up your Xbox.
Okay. Cool.
It's begun. It's
Just
begun.
fucking buy Nick. Get out of here. We're gonna play Assassin's Creed multiplayer now.
I'm going to crush you, man. It's not going to be close. It's not going to be close at all.
It will. It's gonna be Hellcutter's predictions. He's a psychic.
Based off of what? There was no facts or analysis done there.
Doesn't need
It was
to be
just
any.
bias predictions. Bias.
They were truthful. They were honest. He said it himself. They're honest predictions.
I've watched you play multiplayer,
wouldn't
bro. I've watched you play multiplayer, bro. What do you think you're going to do to
Yeah,
me?
but
What do you think
maybe
you're
I'm
gonna do
throwing
to
you
me,
off.
man?
I've been preparing since day one. I've been playing badly so that when people look at me, they're like, "Oh, he's terrible," and then I just turn it around in private.
Watch my games.
But now I'm
It's
gonna
on my
publicly
channel. You
show
can
it.
watch them, man. You have no chance.
I did. You did. You weren't that good. Like, I mean, you were good, but not like as good as you say you are. Like, you were, you know,
Compare
you were
to
pretty.
your...
Yeah, but I try to be more funny.
See,
you
I
know,
don't
than a
lose
pro
games.
player.
I don't lose games. That's the difference here.
I don't lose games.
Yeah, you lose games.
You just don't always come first.
See, I come first. That's the difference here.
I mean, I come first a lot of times. Just, you know. I mean, at least I can do live commentaries while I play. You know?
Huh. Okay. Well, that's cool. I'll be live commentating you when I rip your head off in it. So that's what I'll be doing live commentaries for it. And I'll look right in your eyes through the camera lens, and I'll tell you and everyone else exactly what I've done. I've been telling them what I'm going to do for a long time, and I can't wait for all those little 12-year-olds that watch you and are fans of you to cry, and the adults that support me to laugh.
You just offended my fucking subscribers. What did they do?
They supported you. I said that. I said anyone that's on Team Lasers has no business, and yeah, I'm happy to talk shit. So, be ready, man. Be ready.
I'm ready.
So, Nick, you happy on that tangent? Are you happy with that? Look what you've done.
I've decided to step back from my hosting position and just become a guest. So, yes, I am. I'm very happy with whatever you guys decide for this podcast.
Like right now, as we do the podcast, you're on Reddit, like doing this podcast with these cunts. Like, this was a bad idea.
Oh, they're doing it again, guys.
Just live posting about like, oh, they're fucking arguing again. Jesus Christ.
Kill the Kill Connor Club. Is that the subreddit name? Is that the name of the subreddit?
That should be it. I haven't managed yet.
Okay.
I can't wait for the day when we get Brett on this podcast because it's gonna be hilarious.
He'll be trying to control us, and we'll be like attacking each other and stuff. And he'll be like, "Guys,
He'll
guys,
leave.
stop."
He'll just leave the call. Straight up, just leave.
He'll be like, "These guys are scrubs. Quit."
After everything we say, he'll just be like, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm not affiliated with these guys. Like, this isn't, you know." He's got to keep that professional standard. Otherwise, it's not gonna end well.
Well, for us, but I guess, yeah, we just don't edit ever. I don't know. We maybe should, but we
I
don't.
don't edit anything. You should have listened to I want to give a back little thing to the Dead Set cast that I did. I messed up about 3 times on the bit that I was going to say. I fucked up.
What do you mean?
3 times. The first time, like, Brett left in at the end. So let me explain. So the format essentially is there's like questions, right? So we each asked a question, yeah. The one that I was meant to ask, at the end of each one we give the Twitter poll like percentage, and I forgot to do that. Brett left that in at the end. You can hear him like, you meant to say the Twitter poll, and I'm like, fucking hell. But I messed up that, and then like I couldn't segue into anything because I didn't know what to say. Like all I wanted to do was shit talk the people that voted, but I couldn't do it. So
You being controlled on a leash is so funny to me. Like, I just
I had to,
imagine
like, let
Brett and
Brett
Nick
take
going
over.
like, "Hey, just calm down, man. Like, they're good people. They just have their own opinion. They're allowed to have their own opinion." And you're just like, "No, fuck them," and just screaming.
No,
Brett
no,
cut
it was
out
more
my
like...
little Unity bit. Like, oh.
Did he?
There was a bit where I mentioned Unity, but there was a little bit after that I remember saying where I talked about Unity a little bit, and he removed that bit.
No.
So,
it wasn't us
necessarily
telling
shit-talking.
James. It wasn't us telling James to chill out. It was more like me going to Brett, edit this out, edit all of this out.
All of this, get rid of it.
No, it was most of it was me messing up because the thing is with me, I like to be really spontaneous, but then I was trying to be professional for Brett. Like I didn't want to fuck up for Brett. So like it's me trying to keep myself inside.
Why don't you do
and,
that
like,
for me?
Internally say it because you don't deserve it. You don't have 60,000+ subscribers, Tyler.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
No, see, the thing about Dead Set Cast, which plug is the new podcast I'm doing on Brett's channel, UB Central on YouTube. Watch Dogs for the podcast.
Shameless plug.
It's a brand new podcast. You're on for episode 2, so like we haven't gone into our groove just yet. Like Animus Island, when you guys were on, was like a matured podcast, and so was this. I think.
No. I'm sorry, man. Have you been here the last
One.
hour, or like what's been going on? Like, there's nothing. Mature is not a word used to describe the Kill Chronicle, but sure, continue.
Okay. Yeah. But like Dead Set Cast is brand new, so I'm sure if you come back on in 10 or 20 episodes, we'll be quite a bit more streamlined, and you won't have to deal with what you did.
I mean, that was very, like... You when I was on it, it was very well organized. And Brett, fucking hell, like, he can talk for a straight, like, 3 minutes without taking a breath. Like, he can, like, say so much, and it sounds perfect. Like, he didn't have to retake anything. I'm like, why do you even audio edit? You talk perfectly. Like, I was like, I wish I could do that. It was amazing. And then you see me screw up like 3 times. I'll release the audio at some point, like just my screwing up bit where I'm just like, so you guys said this on Twitter, and I think that I don't know where I'm going with this. Brett, save me. Like, it was ridiculous.
I don't think I mentioned it briefly on Twitter, but I like nearly completely ruined that episode because I don't know. Did you guys see that on Twitter when I tweeted that? I accidentally made.
I can't remember what it was. Like, what did you do?
Because we were doing this thing called double-ended recording, which sounds rather rude, but it isn't. Where each of us records records ourselves individually, and then we sync it up, and then he syncs it up in editing and stuff like that. So it's really high quality sounding, and he has greater control over the individual voices. But the thing I did was that I'm so used to recording the call for Animus Island, I accidentally recorded myself and the entire call. So he had to edit out himself and you from my audio so that my audio was good. And so I don't know how he managed to fix that. And like I screwed it up so badly. I made it so that I can't do it again, thankfully. But Brad did an amazing job and he got it out on time and he didn't complain. He didn't tell me I was a fuck up, so I was pretty happy.
That was good. Like he's good at really good at audio editing. Something I noticed as well that I want to point out. When I made a joke, he cut out both of your laughter. You laughed at me. When he made a joke, he left our laughter in. I'm like, what are you trying to pull, Brett? What are you trying to pull here? You think you're funnier than me? You want to fight?
That's so great. That's actually makes me laugh.
I know, it's because you can hear me laughing. Because they both laughed, so I laughed with them. But on the podcast, it sounds like me laughing at myself.
Yeah, and and there you just look like an asshole.
Yes, so stupid.
Thing about this podcast is like James and I enable each other when we say things. Like we're not really that controversial, but today we talked about being controversial, so it purposely just became controversial for the sake of it. Like we don't really care that much. Like when James is going off about all that stuff, it's like, oh, does he really actually think that? Maybe a little, but like, not really. He just wants to talk shit for the sake of talking shit because that's what we do here.
It's fun.
Just because it's fun to rant on.
Just exaggerating stuff. Like, I don't hate Ubisoft at all. About Ubisoft.
No, what
That
the
won't
fuck are
happen.
you talking
That
about?
won't happen.
This is getting cut out. Yep. Jesus Christ.
I'm joking.
Jesus Christ. Almighty.
It's been a weird one.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next topic on the list. For fuck's sake, James.
I'm excited.
So Nick, we do a segment on the podcast called Top Fives, where
Yes, I fucking love top fives. Can I go get a drink? I ran out.
yeah, man, go get a drink. Just do
I
it.
will.
Just fuck off.
I'll be. Just, you explain top fives, and I'll be back. Like,
This is okay.
it's cool. It's cool, bro.
It's okay. Just go. Just go. Just go.
It's gonna.
Just go. Just go. Just go.
Okay.
What's top fives? I
Nick.
don't think I've heard this.
Okay, so top fives is essentially a segment of which we do top fives. So I'll bring a topic in, and it pretty much gives us a chance. You don't have to do it in any particular order because, again, it's kind of off the cuff. But pretty much come up with 5 of your favourites or least favourite things depending on the topic of the list. And then we pretty much just discuss that, usually involving Assassin's Creed, sometimes other things depending on what's going on. But it is Assassin's Creed related this time, just because when there's no news, there's not much Assassin's Creed to talk about. So it's essential to somehow fit in some sort of Assassin's Creed discussion when or else people get really upset.
So can I ask something real quick?
Sure, of course.
That's a little unrelated to top fives.
Sure.
You mentioned for about 20 seconds Tobuscus and that we were going to talk about him, and then you moved right on.
I did
Are
move
we going
right
to
on
talk
there.
about him?
We will. It is on the list. Maybe we should talk about that first.
Okay.
God damn, I can't edit all this. Jesus Christ. See, that's the thing about our podcast, man. This is the thing about our podcast. It's everywhere. As long as it's all in there, it's fine, but it's everywhere. But we will, trust me, we'll talk about Tobuscus. Because we talked about it a lot on the last episode, but I did want to get your thoughts on it. But we'll just wait for James to get his fucking tea, I imagine. Because, professionalism is of the utmost importance for all Kill Connor Club employees. And we work hard to make sure we're on time always. And when we're guests on anyone's podcast, we're always on time. And on the day he requests us to be on.
Back.
And, hey, man, we weren't talking shit about you.
How long were we waiting for either of you back and forth when we were recording Animus Island? It must have been at least an hour, wouldn't it?
It was about 24 hours.
Do you guys remember?
The first day.
Not 24 hours.
Well, it was, because we had to reschedule to the next day.
Oh, we don't talk about that. That was a fucked up night. that was a fucked up night for me. You don't understand. That was so weird. That shit was weird.
Yeah,
like,
I remember.
not gonna go into it.
Yeah, I remember.
But it was
yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
I
weird as fuck.
And then the next day, James is still late after all that anyway, the next day. But we got
That's
there.
my charm, though. That's just what I was gonna say something and I forgot. Oh, it was like really important as well. Oh no, it wasn't important. I was just gonna say I left the fridge open, like, like earlier when I went to get a drink, I left the fridge open, and I went out to get a drink now, and I was like, the fridge has been open for over an hour.
I think broken a record on this episode of. I think I've got to say this could be the most unprofessional of the podcasts we've ever done.
I've been trying my best. I'm so glad I've achieved it.
I hope I haven't played any part of that.
No. If anything, you've somehow managed to salvage it from turning into literally just an argument, and like just us trying to kill each other.
Imagine if I did a podcast on my own. Actually, I don't think I'd have anyone's like reaction to what I'm saying, so I'd probably get bored.
I've thought about doing a podcast on my own, but I don't know.
Do you not get bored? Like, oh, I suppose your podcasts aren't as long as the KCC, so I suppose it'd be okay. Like, if you would just talk for like not as long, because we tend to go for like 3 hours, like on a good day. So
Live, it's easier to go longer live.
Yeah, it is.
Well, you guys do like live comms and let's plays and shit like that, so you're probably used to doing a podcast by yourself. But like, I usually need to ask someone a question to introduce the news and stuff like that. I don't know.
Well, this is something I wanted to actually say to you, Nick, about your podcast, because as
top fives.
Oh, well, we're about to start, but then you fucked
I
up,
was
and then you
looking
fucked
forward to
off. While you were gone, Nick goes, "You mentioned we are going to talk about Tobuscus earlier," and then you just moved on. I'm like, "Oh yeah, we'll get to that later." But that's the podcast; it'll happen. But that way, it teases everyone. Everyone will be like, "Well, I'll keep listening until they talk about this topic."
And I've got to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning for college, and it's currently 1:30.
You'll be right, man.
Yes, you're asking me a question. I think.
Of course, yeah. So with Animus Island, because when you mention you have to talk to someone, because I am a fan of Animus Island, I listen to since we've been on, I've listened to all the episodes, and I think something I'd like to hear. 50 something or other. Anyway, a mid talk. Thanks, man. Yeah, but with something I'd love to see more of, because like you said, you like to ask questions and get other people's thoughts. I'd like to hear, because I think you're a very well-spoken person and you lock down those interviews, whether they're a person that's easy to talk to or can be a bit harder to talk to, because it does depend on the guest and it happens. I'm sure you know that by now. There's some people more difficult to talk to, but you're really good at locking down those conversations. And I mean, as a person that listens, I'd also love to hear more of your thoughts on topics, because sometimes you're great at interviewing people, but people do care about what you have to say as well. So, I mean, I'd love to hear more of what your thoughts on things as well, because people, it's your podcast and people, do care about all your opinions and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I found that, just as you said, it's easier to interview people and like ask them than it is, because it then suddenly seems like you're either trying to one-up them or trying to make it all about you if it's like in an interview format. And then you're like, oh, well, what I think about this is, so it can be difficult in a podcast format to try and set both, I think, in equal measure.
That's what we do.
But we try to one-up each other.
One-up people, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right, because we secretly hate each other anyway, so it'll work out fine. Yeah, no, I fucking hate you. But top fives. So,
what are the top fives?
Okay, so this episode, we are doing top 5 Assassin's Creed assassin robes.
Ooh, juicy.
Oh! I like this.
Okay.
Oh, I'm excited.
So
that's how I get every time you tell me you know what I mean. Every time you tell me what the top 5 is about, I get all happy about it, because it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.
So if we're doing assassin robes, so Nick, you're our guest today, so you're up first. It doesn't have to be in any particular order unless you have an order, because it is hard off the top of your head. But what are the 5 that come to mind in terms of your favourite top 5 assassin robes from Assassin's Creed?
Do they have to be the main robes that the main character wears?
Anything from any part of any game, comic, etc.
Okay. So I really
canon.
like.
That's the only thing. Canon, not fan art.
Okay.
Or anything.
So I think that Arbaz Mir is robes. That's the Indian assassin from Brahmin.
Yep.
And Chronicles of India. I like his robes. They're cool. I like the design. They're kind of cool. Then I think probably Revelations Ezio. I'm just looking at a Google Images list here. Then like Edward, I guess. Then like Edward, that would be Edward's main ones. And then like I guess Duncan Walpole or Edward's original robes that he transformed into those.
Yep.
And then like Connor's, I guess, or maybe Shay's.
Whoa.
I don't know. I think I've done this.
What the?
What a
That's probably sick, isn't it?
fucking shit list that was. I disapprove.
Welcome to the Kill Connor Club podcast. We have no respect for anything or anybody. There's nothing sacred here. There's nothing sacred
Oh, I'm
here.
so glad. Imagine if we were like this with Victoria Atkin. Like, come
Right. James, okay, so what's yours then? If yours is so
Okay.
much better than Revelations and
Right.
Shay.
Anything Ezio wears. Okay, no.
Okay.
Genuinely, number 1, I know what I'd have as number 1, is AC2 Ezio. I fucking love those robes. They're beautiful. And then the rest of the list, I can't think of anything else. Can we just have it all?
All the
can we
comments,
have it all,
Ezio,
like-
fuck
like-
you, Ezio fanboy scrub, fuck
Like
you,
we could,
Ezio
like number
sucks.
1 can be
Arno is
the
live.
white robes. Number 2 can be the black Ezio robes. Number 3 can be like the red ones, and we'll just change the colors and go down the list. I think Brotherhood Ezio would go in there. Revelations Ezio probably. I really do like Connor's robes. I think I put those in there. They're really interesting.
Fucking
Like I like Connor's robes, different and stuff.
Can I start a podcast called Burn Connor's Robes? Is that a thing? Can I be? Burn Connor's Robes Club? That could be a thing.
That's like
Maybe.
that's like the pussy club that won't go far enough like us to kill him.
Yes.
We take it further.
And I think I still have one more robe to add to my list.
You do, my friend.
I fucking know. The armor of Altair, does that count?
Oh, of course it does.
Because that's great. I love that.
That's
That'd
good.
be my top. That might be my top.
Mhm.
No. AC2 Ezio, then Armor of Altair, then Brotherhood, Revelations, Ezio's in that order, and then Connor's robes. I think that's what
Oh,
I
you
do.
hated my list because I didn't mention AC2 Ezio. Is that it?
Pretty much, I think.
I just love AC2 Ezio's robes. They're fucking beautiful.
I'd probably make Altair, Armor of Altair, probably, for that Ezio wears my number 1, too. Because it's so good. So good. So good.
What did you say? Which one?
The Armor of Altair. What you said.
Oh,
What you put as the
love
second.
that is good.
I put as my
That's
first.
good.
Okay, so we're okay with each other now. We're friends again.
Yeah, we're best friends.
Okay.
I'll buy the next round. Make up for it.
Oh, I love this podcast so much. It just
So do I.
so okay, so my top 5s. I think my number 1 is easily Ezio's Brotherhood robes. They're my favorite by far. Number 2 is probably
Wait.
What's that?
Like AC2 Ezio has loads of intricate detail. Brotherhoods for me was just like, even though it's on my list because Ezio, it's just like white with bits of red on it. Like,
Well, it's not just white with bits of red on it, though, is it?
That
was
like a Ku Klux Klan.
I mean, like, I can understand it being on the list because it's cool, but how can it be number 1, like over AC2 Ezio?
Yeah, easily.
Like, really?
Yeah. AC2 Ezio's
Why?
is-
What are your reasons?
I don't like
I want reasons.
AC2 Ezio's robes like that much. I'm not that obsessed with it. I can't wait till I get the armor of Altair and I can take those noob robes. There's noob robes. That's when he's a noob and a scrub assassin.
You just said you're not that obsessed with them. Like, are you partially obsessed with them? Just not that obsessed.
I'm not that obsessed.
Mediocrely obsessed. Like, there's a bit of obsession there.
Well, because I'm totally obsessed with all things Ezio, but like I'm not like that obsessed with the AC2 robes. But I love them.
Fair.
They're on the list certainly.
Okay,
so
right. Go for number 2.
I wouldn't put Revelations robes on.
Well, you're a whore, aren't you, Tyler?
Oh, calm down, just relax.
So, are you guys thinking? Are you guys thinking of these robes in a vacuum, or are you thinking them in relation to their settings and the character? Like Brotherhood works really well for Brotherhood, and Revelations works really well for Revelations.
Well,
but
yeah.
for other
I mean, I
things, it doesn't look
suppose.
really great.
it's a bit of everything, yeah. But I love the.
I think yeah, because like if you think of them all in relation to like nowadays, that'd be fucking weird. So I guess you'd have to think of them within the game, or
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, it'd be within the game, I suppose.
I think it's 'cause
within the setting.
They look mature. They look like the Master Assassin robes of the mentor that would be Ezio at
Yeah,
that
I
time,
understand.
and when you get the last armor too on them, the last metal armor and stuff. I love that that's when it's my favorite. You know what I mean? Not just the robes itself with all the armor pieces on and stuff. Like I love that final form. That is
pretty cool.
that's my favorite. Then it would be Altair's armor after that, and then I really like Edward's robes. I do really like those because it's simple, but it's very suitable at
Clean.
the same time. They're clean. They're nice, clean.
Simple and clean, yeah.
Okay, we don't have to make Kingdom Hearts references every single chance we get. And then it would probably be AC2 robes for Ezio, yeah. And then last it might be maybe Altair's robes. I really like Altair's robes.
Yeah, I kind of like Altair's robes. I was thinking of putting them on the list, and then I was like, cliche.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Oh, I'm being George now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Changing my list to be different.
To be diverse. Like
All of his lists are fake.
of all the things I dislike about Connor, I don't not like his robes. His robes are fine. I don't have a problem with his robes. They're very
like his
suitable. They're pretty cool, but I like others better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'd put all those in front of him. But if there was a sixth
Okay.
spot, I'd probably put Connor's next. Maybe. I don't really like Arno's that much.
It's top 5s though. Stop going into top 7.
Sorry, top 7. But yeah, those would be my 5. I'd say those would be my 5. But I mean, when you think about it, there's not that many great ones, is there? When you really think about it,
Oh, so okay, I have a question for you guys.
Ezio's.
go for it.
So in relation to this, what do you think of legacy outfits then? Because like they don't look the same on Arno.
Sure.
Like Arno doesn't wear Ezio's Brotherhood robes the same way.
Not a fan of legacy outfits.
I like them. I think they're cool. I never
use
wear them.
Yeah, Never use
I never
them.
wear them. I just really like them.
I like that they're there. I like that I have the choice, because if I didn't have the choice, I'd be angry. But I like that they're there.
I never take the choice, but I like that I have the choice.
I think, do you know what annoys me, actually? Why in the fuck do we get legacy outfits of, like, Ezio Master robes in Assassin's Creed 3 and stuff, but not in Revelations, when I actually wanted them, where we're playing as the character?
Oh, that would be perfect.
That annoyed me.
Imagine if Revelations having, like, the armor of Altair, AC2 Ezio, Brotherhood Ezio.
Why wouldn't you?
Oh, man.
Why wouldn't you? Don't you think?
Oh, that's depressing now.
Well, yeah, but like
Just
they've only
wait.
ever done it for characters though. They've had like one legacy robe per character. So we've had when we were playing as Ezio, we had Altair's, but then when we were playing as Connor,
That's
then we
weird.
had Ezio's Brotherhood robes.
I
So
really
it's not
want
like
Ezio's
the game.
AC2 robes, right? For like a legacy outfit. I really want that.
No.
Never gonna
But
happen.
they were, I guess, they weren't his robes though.
No.
They were Giovanni's robes. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But I really like them and I want them. I want them.
What do you
Wait,
I
first,
had-
actually, talking about
One more
legacy robes. just real quick with the legacy robes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
in Syndicate, right? Why did we only get Edward and Ezio for Jacob? What happened to where's Connor? Where's Altair? Who else exists? Arno.
See, this is weird. See, for some reason, Cole, I don't know why he thought this, but maybe he knew something I didn't. But Colin, of the ones who came before, thought that we were going to get an update with the rest of them. I don't know why he thought this. As I said, maybe he knows something I don't. But like, he was under the impression that we were going to get the rest of them. And some other people have said that because we have basically the others with Evie's legacy outfits, that they just didn't have enough resources diverted to the legacy outfits to give like everyone.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, I can understand why he probably thought there'd be an update, because that's just common sense. Like, to think, well, if they haven't got them all, maybe they'll put them in later. Like, they didn't, but I genuinely don't understand why they included all the legacy outfits in every game since, like, AC2. They've been doing it since then, and then in this game they were like, yeah, let's just scrap Altair and Connor and Arno and just, like, I don't understand the logic there, because, like, Altair especially, like, he started the franchise. Why is there no Altair outfit in that game? Like, it felt weird. But they
doesn't
don't need
sell
it.
well. Yeah, it doesn't sell well.
But
Same with Connor.
Yeah, that's also true. Very true.
Still though.
But it's like, why? That's why the same reason. Why does it? All the hardcore fans of Assassin's Creed go, why isn't India getting its own full AAA title? Why isn't Russia getting its own AAA title? I'm like, well, good luck selling that shit to the mainstream audience.
Yeah, I could understand that because it's like the main game, but like these bonus outfits in the game, they don't need those to sell the game.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
Because there's not like a selling point. Like, hey, guess what? Ezio's outfit's in this game. Buy it. Like, that's not their selling point.
I guarantee you, at least one person did that though.
They probably did.
There's
like,
at least one. There's at
like,
least one.
Hey,
guy.
I bought the game because Ezio's outfit's in it, and the game I didn't enjoy it, but I played with the Ezio outfit. And I killed people with it on. It's my impression of that one guy. I'm not gonna say his name, but there's that one guy who tweets me and Ethan with really weird ideas for games. Like, hey, there should be an Assassin's Creed game where you can create your own Assassin's Creed game in it. And I'm like, how does that even work? What's your thought process there? Like, you think we're gonna play a game where you can literally make your own Assassin's? How does that work?
Well, I'll tell you. You go in this little. You tell the guy, you go in this little game. It's called Life, and you go to college or university. You study game design, then you try to get a job with Ubisoft, and you make Assassin's Creed games. There's your game, you fucking idiot.
That guy, I guarantee, right? One person is they're gonna become the next Alex Amancio now. They're gonna become the next.
You know we can't say that.
He was the creative director on Revelations though. Like, give him some credit. I mean, tower defense.
Well, I love you telling us to give him some credit. You're the only one here attacking in person.
I'm trying to tell myself. Look, it's okay. I don't mind him. He's an alright bloke. I just think, Unity wasn't great.
Yeah, I know, but there was at least 1,000 people that worked in that game. Yeah,
but with return to Unity,
those people are fine.
Like, I'm a guest, but am I allowed to drag this back to the robes? Because I had a question.
Yeah, of course. You can do whatever you want, man.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
So it was interesting how every one of us listed at least one of Ezio's robes, but no one said the armor of Brutus.
Oh, that's
because
horrible,
it's shite.
It's shit. This isn't World of Warcraft, man.
It's so bad. It's just like the hood is like this towel he's got on his head. Like, what is that shit? Like, it's horrendous.
It's the worst.
He's got dead wolves on his armor.
The dead wolves? You don't like the dead wolves?
No, it's horrible.
No, I don't like the dead wolves.
This isn't World of Warcraft.
Okay, fair enough, I guess.
Do you like the robes? Sorry? Have we just totally
what do you think?
your
opinion?
Oh,
I don't actually. I didn't include them either. But like, so then if Ezio had all these really great robes that you guys are both fans of, what the fuck happened with the armor of Brutus then?
Alex Amancio got involved with Brotherhood.
Because before that we have the armor of Altair, and after that we have the armor of Ishak Pasha, which are both not bad. I'm not sure. I don't really like the mask on Nitro Pasha's one.
No.
But
I like
Armor
the
Brutus
robe,
must
but
stand
the
out.
mask is like, yep, I agree with that.
Okay. Yep.
That's my point.
So then the Armor Brutus, like, what's wrong with it? It's like all bulky and stuff. It makes him. What the thing I don't like about it is that the skirt is so like strongly tied together, and it's like ankle length.
Weird.
It doesn't look like he could parkour in it. It looks all
There's a lot
constrained.
of things. Yeah, there's that skirt. There's the shitty looking hood. There's the dead wolves.
I hate the color.
The cut you red.
You don't
It's like red and brown. It's
Yeah, hate the color.
Mm-hmm.
I have
it's
Yeah.
just
white
not good.
robes.
It's not a good armor. Like it's not a good armor. It's not a good robes. I just don't like Armor Brutus. Like
I don't
Yeah,
like
and then when
assassins
you, like,
without white
this-
robes. I hate it when they're different colors. It destroys me.
so you
But did you not
hate
like-
it, Jacob and Evie. Arno.
Yeah.
Well, Arno's always made white. I
Armor
was-
of Altair.
and
Oh.
I always tried to make. Armor of Altair is the only credit I'd give. I was totally okay with that.
So was I.
I
like the black
worked.
ones though. Like
Yeah,
the ebony dye for the Brotherhood robes. I think that looks really cool. Like the black and red. I really
unacceptable.
like that.
That's blasphemy.
I
to
love
to
it.
dare
I
dye
love
that Brotherhood
black.
robe anything else but white. That's blasphemy.
I love
against my
the
religion.
dyes. When I played AC2, not when I played AC2. Well, I mean, it was when I played AC2, but before I played it, when the trailers and demos came out where they were like dyeing the robes, I was like, that's the fucking coolest thing ever. Like dyeing robes, different. I just hit the mic. Dyeing robes, different colors. Oh, it was so cool, so fucking cool. And then like you in Unity, the robe dyes were so odd. Like there was like lime green and like bright red. Who's gonna do? Actually, people, of course, Ethan would do that probably. I can imagine Ethan running around in co-op with lime green robes, just being the biggest like troll out there. Like, guys, look at my robes. I love Ethan. Ethan is the best person in the world.
This just went on a completely different direction.
Well,
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, see, I'm not. Yeah, I like white assassin robes. It depends. I like Armor of Altair. Jacobs and Evie's only suited it because it's the setting, and they don't even have robes. They're just wearing jackets. You know.
Yeah, that's weird. I like Evie's because Evie's kind of a robes, but Jacob, it's various jackets that he wears.
Yeah.
I really was not a fan at all of Jacob's robe. They're not even robes.
Actually-
Jacob's coats.
Actually, I tell you what, I put in
No?
might even be above on my list above Altair's robes would be Evie's one of Evie's outfits. It's the white and purple one. It's the one you get after you fight Lucy Thorne in the tower when you get the necklace.
Jesus.
Mm.
I think I know which one you mean, but I'm not entirely
it's
sure
a
I know which
something
one you
gown.
mean.
I forget. It's the something gown. I might Google.
Oh,
it.
the night something gown.
No,
Something...
no, that's different.
Yeah, that's different. Evie.
That was the
Fucking hell,
Nightingale
you two.
one.
Ooh.
Oh,
good gosh.
yeah. I
I'm googling it now.
What's
just
Stevie's
so I
last
can-
name?
Fry.
Oh right, yeah.
What? Don't tell anyone I said that.
what just
swear.
happened there?
Okay.
What just happened?
What do you mean?
I'm confused. You both cut out, and I don't know what you just said there. I'm like Mr. Joe.
Let's just not talk about it.
Don't even worry about it, man. Don't even worry about
No,
it.
no,
Okay.
seriously. Actually, tell me. I need to be informed. What happened?
It's the lady. It's the lady Malign's gown.
Yeah.
It's like it's a
no.
go.
I see it. I'm looking at it right now.
It's
Yeah.
it's a nice outfit. I really like those robes. I always
I
as soon as
do
I
like
get those,
that,
I
yeah.
change them over and I keep Evie in those robes. They're really cool. I actually really like those. That might actually be at my list at number 5 or something. They're
Did
really
you
cool.
ever get the Minerva armor for Eevee
I did, of
in
course.
Syndicate?
Of course. I have to get achievements, bro.
Did
Let me.
it give you cancer or like what did you think when you put it on?
I haven't been to the doctors to check if I've got cancer, but
Any like large bumps on your body?
no, I don't. Just my piece, not anything out of the ordinary.
But seriously, like that armor really pissed me off. Like it looked cool, but it really annoyed me because whenever you do anything in it, it just has this annoying glitch. Every so often it goes zzz, like that. That was a sound.
Was it? Okay.
Like
Oh, good job, man. That's
of,
good.
of like if like imagine that sound but visualize it. Kind of wobbles, kind of thing. Like if
Yeah,
like a
I know what you
TV
mean.
flickers. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Like a CRT TV. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't
It
wear
was
it.
a little like she kind of went invisible when the little glitch went over her, so it was strange. I just didn't
Even
like it
though
because it looked like such a break from the canon as well. Like she looked more like an Egyptian goddess than someone who's fighting for the workers in
Yeah, it was strange.
1800s London.
Like, what the fuck was Minerva's armor doing locked in away in a vault underneath London? Is there a story behind it?
Not the one that we know.
Yeah, it's just for lols, because video games.
Well, Anancio got involved in that one, didn't he?
Oh, calm
good
down, bro.
Snuck back into the Syndicate development team.
Hey, man, it's a video game. I don't know if anyone's warned you about it.
It's my livelihood, Tyler.
That's true. That's true. Okay, let's take another turn. Let's take another turn.
Wait, Toby Turner. Toby Turner. We need to go back to the rape.
Okay, well, let's calm down when we use that word, yeah? So we mentioned earlier I was going to talk about Tobuscus, because we talked about the last episode, we talked about all that controversy and stuff. So, Nick, do you know what's happened? Do you have some ideas? Have you been informed?
So I was on the video subreddit and I saw that his video entitled "The Truth," full stop, was up there, and I saw that, and then I read up some more on what people were claiming, but that's really all I know. I don't know if anything happened today or anything, but if it did, I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, okay. So we talked about it quite a bit over the past episode of the podcast, and it was just, for those who don't know that are listening, pretty much one of Toby Turner's ex-girlfriends wrote a massive Tumblr post, because that's what we do in 2016, about being, domestic violence with verbal and physical abuse, and sexual assault, and being drugged, and all those list of things. If you want to go check it out, it's very easy to find. Just type in Toby Turner and it'll come up. And then
I might put it in the description if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, and since then, heaps of people have been who used to date Toby, because apparently everyone's dated Toby, according to YouTube, about their experiences with Toby, etc., etc. And then he's posted up a video that's about 1 minute and 2 seconds long, and it's just, like Nick said, it's just entitled "The Truth," and he just said it's all false. Nothing I did was, not consensual, yada yada. The only thing I think we can gather from it, which is pretty much every friend it seems like he's ever had someone to say, and that was at least he has some drug issues, clearly, and he maybe has some anger issues. But again, when it comes to sexual assault and drugging, it's allegations, and right now we don't know for certain. Anything, again, we don't know for certain, we don't know the guy, but there's a lot going on. I was just wondering, Nick, what do you think of all this craziness that's happened with Tobuscus?
Well, I don't really pay attention to most YouTube drama. I'm not a big fan of it in general.
Same.
But, his video, "The Truth," really seemed very honest to me. He just seemed like he was genuinely distressed. Unless he's, a really great actor. I know that's kind of what he does for a living.
He is an actor. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So... I personally believed him, and a lot of his other past girlfriends, since you mentioned everyone who's dated him apparently, said that he does have some issues, as does a lot of people, but I don't think that he would have. I don't think he would have done that necessarily, at least not intentionally. I'm not trying to say that the original woman's lying either. It's just I don't know. It's a difficult situation. It's
certainly a grey area, and I think one of the videos I talked to this last time talked about it. Jacqueline Glenn said there's a grey area of she said sure he had his things he was into, but he never did anything. If I told him to stop, he'd stop. So if you're and then she said, so if you're a woman that can't say no, is it rape or is it? What is it? There's a grey area. It's hard to describe, and some people
I
would hear that, and
rape, is it?
Some new generation social justice warrior pussies would hear that and go, for me, even saying the sentence that there's a grey area, you're a fucking sexist. You need to die. That's what would happen, but there is a grey area, and it's hard to deny that there is some sort of, it's hard to, especially from the outside, when we're just people looking in. as well, especially.
Yeah. I was doing a lot of research about the whole Toby Turner stuff, like yesterday and today. Like Luke, just for everyone out there, if you don't know who Luke is, he's the one that sings all of our really, really good parodies that you can buy on Bandcamp. There's a link in the description. But I was talking to Luke the other day, like, because we were both huge fans of Toby Turner back in the day when we were younger. Back in the day, like 2 years ago, but we were huge fans of Toby Turner, and like we were talking about it, and I think there was another person who made a video. I forgot her name, but she made a video on it and said, like, there's a lot of things that don't add up, like, which is the same as what this other girl said. I forgot her name as well.
Jacqueline.
Like with the one that was talking about, like, yeah, that's the one. Kind of matched up with her story of like, when you said no to Toby, he didn't want to continue with it because he didn't feel, wanted and stuff like that. And he kind of like, he wouldn't force it because he has like this thing where he has to be like desired and stuff. And if they don't want it, then he doesn't want it either. So they said, it doesn't make sense that Toby would continue to force it on someone when they've clearly said no. So either the girl didn't say no or she's lying. Like,
but if she didn't
Toby could be completely different with some people. We don't know because, like,
Yeah, right. We don't.
I'd say I'd say personally, I think like the story, like the one that Jacqueline did sounded really legit. Like, to me, I believed what she said, and the same with this other girl that Luke linked me to today, saying that, the April, the girl that made the Tumblr post, exaggerated possibly a lot of the details that she put in the Tumblr post. Like, she might not have wanted it, she might have felt uncomfortable, but if she didn't speak up, then Toby's not going to know. Like, you can't just call rape because you felt uncomfortable in it, kind of thing.
In this day and age, you can. In this
Like,
day and age, you can get someone arrested because you had sex with someone consensually, but you were drunk. And even if they were drunk too, you can say rape.
That's completely
Welcome
unfair.
to new generation social justice warriors. But that's what it's like today. I mean, you hear about it all the time at colleges and universities. It's crazy, and you can. And even then, in that sense, if she doesn't want it, I find it hard to not. I think that you can say it's rape to a certain level because it was, even if like you said, how can he know? But I don't know. We weren't there, but.
Wasn't intentional rape, I mean,
know.
you can still say there's like, surely you can't like arrest someone for that.
Yeah,
it wasn't an intentional thing.
100%
like,
you can. 100%
you never,
you can.
but like if he knew that she didn't want to do it, like then fair enough. But if he had no, plus it was his girlfriend. Like, if he starts doing something to his girlfriend and she doesn't say no, why would he think that she wouldn't want it? That literally makes no sense.
Well, okay,
at all.
well,
like, you can't.
It does though. Like, okay, well, it's just because you're dating someone doesn't mean all the time they want to have sex with you. And neither does it mean.
Yeah, but
and
if
at the same time of they were on and off a lot. And there were things he did that she said anyway, like, that were weird, and she said she did say no. So we don't.
But then that doesn't add up with what a lot of other people were saying, like, about his ego, like,
Yeah, but then again, it's different, man. It's different for everyone.
We weren't there.
We weren't there. It's hard. It's very hard to go into this much detail. And
but
again,
I think there's one thing we can say for certain is that he's mentally unstable with a lot of things, because there was this other girl that talked about stuff. She said, like, there was this time when he was pacing around her apartment, and he had like this breakdown, like, I guess you could say, like, panic attack, anxiety attack kind of thing, just because of everything, like, that he's like happens to him. I guess, I don't know. I think I mean, obviously we're never there, so we can't say anything, but I just think he's unstable. Like, the drugs don't help. Like, the fact that he's a massive celebrity kind of thing. Like, I guess a lot contributes, but there's not really any way we can say anything unless we get proof or Toby speaks up and says something himself. I don't know.
He's done the legally smart thing of just saying only they're false, and that's all he said. Legally the smart thing to do, and then lawyer the fuck up, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, again, hard to tell, and we're probably as outsiders looking in, probably never going to know the full truth either.
Yeah,
it's a tough topic. It's a tough topic there, but yeah. Anything either of you wanted to say on that, Nick or James?
I said everything, I think.
No, not really. It's just like some of them he mentioned. He didn't mention it, but like some of them mentioned that they were massive fans of him before they started dating, and that's kind of like a really bad place to start off in a relationship, given that the power dynamic is already in such a strange place. So that's just not a great place to start. But that's all I wanted to say. It's a very, very difficult situation. I don't really think that it should be all over the internet necessarily.
Yeah.
I find it like weird that anyone could do that kind of stuff with someone that's a fan of them. That would just be like extremely awkward and weird. Like,
it's tough.
Yeah, not feeling that as something that I could ever do.
That's tough. Well, you are
Ever.
famous and you have all the girls after you, James. That's true.
100%. That's what Elva thinks. Not true. Not true.
Not true. Just throwing your own girlfriend under the bus. Just casually. Well, I mean...
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I hope that this all settles down, this drama, and it's sorted out behind closed doors more than in front of everyone, where a lot of people are benefiting off the drama by making their own videos, making a lot of money, and like Drama Alert and things like that. Because it's easy for them to be very happy that things like this happen when it's not a great thing. So I just hope it kind of settles down and they can sort it out, and there's justice to wherever it wherever it needs to be served. One might say.
Legend.
There's another segment we have on here, Nick, that's kind of naturally happened.
Oh, okay.
We've done it twice now, and it just kind of become a thing, I guess, which is reacting to videos.
Oh, we're gonna do that?
Podcast. Yeah, I've got one. And we've done it the last 2 episodes. Just kind of randomly happened, and as well, we're kind of like fuck you, fine bros, as we talked about on Animus Island. So we're just, now that we can legally react, we're just going out of our way to react as much as we can.
Now that we can legally react. That's fantastic. So actually no, screw it. I'll talk to you about it afterwards. Actually, there's no point saying it in the podcast. Okay, I'm ready.
So this is I will disclose graphic content if it involves an animal attack.
Terrifying a little bit.
To people watching.
Was there a horse in there?
Horses, is that maybe? Yeah, horses. Is this that Mr. Hands thing I've read about?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not sexual content. The title for the audio listeners is Tiger Charges at Man Riding Elephant. It's 36 seconds long, so if you're an audio listener and you can't see this on the podcast, go look it up now, because we're going to watch it.
Yeah,
we'll tee it up, Nick, and I'll count us down and we'll watch all at the same time and react. That's kind of how we do it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fun.
Have either of you seen this video before?
No.
Okay, that's perfect. That's kind of what I want to find. I had my mate Joel is here, and he helped me find this, because I got him last night. I'm like, I need a video to react to, and he's just like, look at this, and I was freaking the fuck out. This is some cartoon shit. Okay, that's all I'll say. So you guys got the video up ready to play?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Reacts on the Kill Connor Club. Okay, 3, 2, 1, play. So there's elephants and men riding elephants. It's Lord of the Rings shit right now.
Okay.
Is this what you do in New Zealand, Nick? Right?
Pretty normal.
No, we don't have too many elephants in New Zealand, I'm sorry.
Oh, I know.
We also don't have a lot of Indian men either that would be riding the elephants. Holy shit!
Holy fuck!
What the fuck?
Watch this shit.
Holy fucking shit!
Look at the guy's arm. Dude.
Oh.
That.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so that's the video.
That's fucked.
That is...
Holy
shit. Whoa.
That is some cartoon shit.
Fucking hell.
That jump, that tiger. So this tiger, for audio listeners who for some reason don't want to listen. So a tiger, it's like these. I think this is in Cambodia, and there's just the fields, and you can't even see the tiger, and he just fucking cartoon dives out and jumps above the elephant and claws at the guy on the elephant. How insane!
Are you sure it's not India?
Are we sure it's
Because
not
it says
fake?
wild films. Yeah.
I'm relatively certain it's real. Unless let's read the comments. Most inspirational video ever was the top rated comment.
How could it be? How could it be fake?
I definitely think it's real. Yeah.
So do I. Look,
like how does one
Fuck
fake that?
that first
That
shot.
fucking sneaky fucking tiger. Holy shit. Am I allowed to swear on here?
God,
Yeah,
should I-
are you kidding me?
Have you been paying attention the last 2 hours? Like,
I'm just watching it again. Oh my
Okay.
god, that dive is insane.
This thing, I don't know how it manages to be such a sneaky little shit.
It just comes
Look
out
at
of
it.
nowhere,
He's-
out of the grass.
that's why I don't own a cat, because one day it might grow up to be a tiger and attack me.
I love how the guy throws his stick at it. That's brilliant.
That is some I was going to say Lord of the Rings type shit, but it is with the elephant, but that is some cartoon shit. That jump, its face, like that's something out of the Jungle Book right there. That looks CGI.
It just didn't want any of the guy's shit. It was like, fuck you, get out my fucking fields. I don't care about the elephant, it's your fault. And just like went for him. It's like, Jesus.
How crazy
Didn't
is
even go
that?
for It treated the elephant like he was just a stand that the guy was sitting on. That's crazy.
I think the insane thing as well is the fact that, I mean, how scary it would be living in that area where you have to hunt tigers because they're killing people in your village that are farming. So you've got to hunt the tigers to, live life. And to do that, you've got to jump on elephants, and you risk that happening to you. That's a thing that'll happen to you.
Tigers coming into your village, killing your women, looting your shit. You know?
I think I'd prefer the snakes and spiders of Arizona and Australia to tigers.
I am 100% with you there.
No, I prefer tigers. Genuinely.
Why are you so scared of spiders?
They're fucking horrendous. Have you seen them? The little fucking... No. No spiders.
What was that?
That was me internally exploding.
You can kill a spider
Like-
with your hand. A tiger, they
No,
have guns and they're on
I
an elephant
can't.
and they can't take down a
Like
tiger.
me, I can't kill a spider with my hand. If I go near it with a hand, I shrink into a ball. Like, I can't fucking do that shit. Spiders are... No.
So you have a phobia.
God. The spawn of Satan. Yeah,
No,
I have a horrendous phobia of spiders.
Spiders, I'm not at all, not even a little bit concerned with spiders at all. Like, they're one hand whack, they're dead. It's all over, done. Snakes is another story. I'm scared of shitless of snakes. But
They're just long tubes.
that poison you and kill you. And you can't kill them by whacking them with the back of your hand.
If you do it hard enough, you can.
That snake will avoid you, whereas the spider's just gonna
Over
get
the
fucked
head.
up. I don't know.
Yeah, snakes are... Yeah, I think... I'm not, it's different. I'm scared of snakes in the fact that they'd kill me. But with spiders, I'm scared of spiders just because I'm scared of spiders. It's just a phobia. But whereas with snakes, I'm scared of them because they can kill me. That's the same with, lions and tigers. It's the sight of them doesn't scare me. But whereas with a spider, if I see it on, a TV or something, it freaks me out. I can't look at them.
So if you're afraid of
I'm scared of them for
spiders...
different reasons.
Okay. What about scorpions? Because we have those too.
Not so much. Not as much with scorpions, but I am as well. It's like a different kind of fear. I still, if I see a scorpion, on a TV, I'd kind of be like, oh, that's nah. But I'm not as scared as with a spider. But, yeah. So it's a kind of different kind of fear with spiders than it is to things that can actually harm me. Because even when there's a spider that's, the size of, I don't know, really small ones that are probably this, even smaller than a penny, tiny, they freak me out. I can't get anywhere near them. I'm just terrified.
I'm just watching this tiger video over and over again. It's the scariest shit I've ever seen. It is honestly one of the scariest videos I've ever seen in my life. This guy's got a stick on the top of this elephant, and he's just come at me, bro. And this tiger's okay. And it just fucking dives up 10 meters and fucks him up.
Imagine being a tiger.
What? Is that a
What
real
would it
question?
be like?
Is that a real question? Oh, okay. Yeah,
No,
we're going there? Yeah, okay,
actually,
yeah,
no,
sure, let's do it.
Hold on. No, I actually have a genuine question. Like, like, dogs, right?
No?
Do they
Sure.
think in, like, what goes through their mind? Because, like, when we think in English, right? What does a dog think in?
What the fuck? Is that a question?
No, like,
actually-
genuinely, like, do they, because they, obviously they don't think
Okay.
in barks, do they? So,
So I've read some studies on this. Okay, it's like similar. It's like I can't speak for dogs. I'm sorry, I can't speak for dogs. But with different humans, like people who speak Spanish from birth will think in Spanish, for example. But my Spanish teacher, because he learned Spanish at a very young age, like 10, or learned English at a very young age, at like 10 or so, he can like think in both. He can switch between them. Just randomly, like he might be dreaming in Spanish, and then suddenly next dream will be in English. And people who are deaf and have been deaf since birth think in images. So maybe dogs think in images.
Well, that's what I always
can't.
thought. I
Like,
assumed it would have to
like
be. It would
images,
just
smells,
be images. It would just be
sounds,
things you
like-
can relate to, doing actions and images and visuals.
That's cool though, isn't it? Like,
Is it?
yeah,
You have
it
to get a
really
little more than
impresses
just
me.
alcohol.
Yeah, I've been smoking so much. No, I've never smoked weed in my life.
It's such a crazy, crazy question, to be honest. Like, I've never really thought much about it.
I like those. Like, me, George, and Elva. Like a couple of weeks ago when we streamed Kingdom Hearts, we spent like the last hour talking about like the universe and like history and like things like that. Like really like think like those kind of things.
Well,
and
I
that
was listening to
really
some of that because you started talking about Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson and
Yeah, about like Egypt and like catastrophes and all that stuff. That was a lot of fun. That was one of the best streams I think I've done. That was great fun.
it's an interesting topic, yeah. Because I'm reading Graham Hancock's book now, so and
Oh yeah, what's that like?
it is changing my life. Every page is
Oh, I'm gonna have to buy it.
unreal.
That's it. I'm taking your word for it.
To fill you in, Nick, on what we're talking about, it's like Joe. Have you heard of Joe Rogan before?
Yeah, I listen to his podcast.
Oh, you do? Okay, awesome. Well, so do I. You might have even listened to his podcast with Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock, talking about global catastrophes, geology, and Graham is a philosopher and author. He did Fingerprint of the Gods in '95, one of his bestsellers, and he just released Magicians of the Gods, like a follow-up, talking about ancient civilizations and trying to prove ancient civilization existence of humans, and with places like Göbekli Tepe and Gunung Padang in Indonesia, and the pyramids, and these sages and people that, after these floods and catastrophes about 12,000 years ago, went around and helped teach agriculture throughout the world, through America, Asia, and the Middle East, and things like that, to help civilization rise up again after the catastrophe. And he goes through all these different places that are dated before the catastrophe in the Ice Age, and things like that, and all these, catastrophe stories from different places all around the world that all line up. Like, it's just an insane book to read. And he went around with different geologists like Randall Carlson, and him getting knowledge from them. It's incredible. It's Magicians of the Gods, an incredible book. I haven't finished it, but it's unreal.
Sounds interesting.
Cool.
Very interesting, because we've just gone from one end of the spectrum to very professional and talking very philosophical. Kill Con Club has everything, that's for sure. It has everything.
Yeah, I'm kind of like phasing in and out of sleep right now.
Welcome to
Well
my
done.
life.
I'm kind of like coming up. I'm kind of realizing that I'm gonna have to wake up in like 5 hours and wanting to kill myself. But I also don't want the podcast to ever end. I could live the rest of my life like this.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
welcome to my. You're living my experiences every time I do a podcast, because it's always me that's up at 1 and 2 in the morning doing it.
I prefer it like this. This is way more fun. Jesus Christ, it's normally the middle of the day for me, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is normal podcast. But now, it's great because I'm like shoving alcohol and energy drinks into my body, and I feel great. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow wanting to stab my eyes, aren't I?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I prefer it that way in some ways too, because right now I'm like, I have work today. Oh, I'm gonna cry and all this sort of stuff. Like, there's that.
Just don't go.
Have to go. Got it.
Tell them you got AIDS.
Tell them what?
You got AIDS.
Hey man,
You were like, you were in the jungle. You were putting your penis in some monkeys, and now you've got AIDS.
Holy
It's a
shit!
shame.
Are you guys? Oh my god.
you've never really had a job before, have you, James? A real job, have you?
No,
Yeah.
no, never.
Tell them you've
No.
got AIDS. Wouldn't they realize when you don't go to any treatments or you just seem normal next
It went
time?
away.
Or the
But
fact
it
I
was
was,
a miracle.
or the fact I was
I'll
at
be
work.
right.
He
Is this
prayed to Ganesh, and
Is this-
the AIDS went is a miracle.
Oh good god. Is this going to be one of those things where it gets edited out, or are you going to
No,
leave this in?
absolutely not.
Oh good god.
There's not going to be much that gets edited out. I'm going to be totally honest with you, if anything.
Fantastic. I mean, all it is detrimental to me, so it's fine. Everyone already knows that I'm a dickhead, so
and me
it's okay.
also, but sure, yeah, I get dragged down with you. But
Then
yeah.
I can be
then
worse.
I become a dickhead by association. Oh, good
It's
god.
okay. Nick isn't affiliated with us at all. He's actually a really nice person.
He's a good person.
Whereas-
I'm sure everyone's going to believe that.
Everyone
See,
is gonna
the issue
believe
with that
what I
is
said.
the only people who are going to hear that are the people who made it this far.
Yeah, shit.
Good luck with that.
We should put a
Anyway,
disclaimer at the beginning. At the beginning, we'll put Nick is a really nice person. He in no way contributes to the shit that we talk, and he doesn't condone it
You
at all.
talk.
He actually hates us. He hates us completely.
I
So, you know,
Yeah, well, yeah, good luck with that, Nick. No, but yeah, James, you've never had a job before,
Career.
have you? You've never. It's clear.
No, never.
Nah.
never.
See, I
never,
got rent to
never.
pay, my man. So definitely got to show up. Definitely got to
Yeah.
show up.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I know. That adult life, though.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't sound like anything I want to do. I think I'm gonna live like a me for a while, like this.
Like
And
this?
I'm gonna. When my parents kick me out because I'm a failure, then I'll try and do something about it. That or I'll die. Like,
So
it'll
is
be
that
one of
what
the
you're
two,
predicting?
so-
You're just like, can I get kicked out by your parents in the end?
No, they love me too much.
They love you too much. They'll never kick you out.
They love me too much. Too much.
Yeah.
No, what
I
I'm
just
going to
had a
become
thought.
is a successful rock singer,
Yeah.
and 100%, like in
Oh.
2 years, like just watch me. I'm gonna start a band.
Singing cover
It's gonna
videos
be
on
cool.
YouTube.
Yes. Justin Bieber, Ariana
don't
Grande.
steal
I
my
can do
shit.
all of.
Yeah. Bieber's mine, man. Let's stay in your lane, yeah? Stay in your lane.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nick, you're just so confused of how bizarre we are. You're like, who are
Little-
these people? How do they get
The
anywhere?
weirdest- See, the thing is, though, you've been on the
Little bit.
weirdest one because me and Tyler are like opposite times in the day, so it's worse than it normally. It's normally better than this. Like, seriously, we're normally somewhat professional. This is like like-
Are we though?
a little bit. Like, we're a little bit more professional. Like, I mean, you are professional, right?
True.
Somewhat. Whereas I'm normally not, and I'm even worse now.
Except
not gonna
when
lie.
except when I tell my Tyler's tales, and then it just goes professionalism's thrown
Is that
out
a
the window.
segue?
What's that?
You don't know what Tyler's tales are?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Okay, this is awesome.
I
for you.
think I've just realized that you haven't actually ever listened to the podcast because that's all we do. It's
I
non-stop
always-
Tyler's Tales.
If I'm gonna listen to segments, because then I just go, what the fuck is this shit? And then I turn it off.
Wow.
James is really hurt right now. James is really hurt.
really
right
upset.
now. I
Oh,
I'm of the opinion of fair enough, fair point.
You know what? That's the same thing that every guest says. Luma said it as well. He's like, I've listened to segments and wow. Like,
And wow. And yeah, I've listened to segments. Great job, got totally. What the fuck? Who are these guys? Like, let's just say
ask him.
Doug
ask him
McDevitt's not
to
going to
what?
meet us and go, I love the podcast. I love listening
He'd be
to
like, I listened to the podcast and get out of here. Leave. Just fucking get out.
it. Tyler's Tales is pretty
Why'd
much,
you
I
invite-
tell my crazy stories.
okay.
I tell crazy
Do you have one
stories.
lined up for this episode, or am I gonna miss out on that?
You are probably
I
gonna
suppose I do have a big backlog to go listen to.
you do have
So
a
I'm
lot.
gonna,
From my Bieber story, where I got up in front of 200 people in Florence, Italy, and sung Bieber karaoke because on my Kentucky tour I was referred to as the Biebs by an Italian waiter in front of all these girls, and then I realised to get rid of the nickname I needed to get drunk, get fucked up, and go up and sing in front of everyone. And then it
Riley,
turned...
you just summarized that story in 5 seconds. That took you half an hour
Yeah, I
to
know.
tell on the podcast. You wasted so much time. You could have just said that.
Yeah, but it's not nearly as good. I've got to build it up and tell it and flow it.
Nah, it's not. I didn't get as much euphoria
Yeah,
as I did the
it's way
first.
better. Like, it's my stand-up routine, and it's like 10 minutes long, so
I do like your stand-up routine.
thank you.
That's one thing I do like.
Yeah, and,
How? Never mind.
what's that?
I was gonna ask you something that you probably already answered on the podcast, so it doesn't matter.
No, ask away.
Oh no.
No, like I've seen. Okay, I saw you mention on Twitter about your stand-up, but I don't know anything about it. I was hoping to learn something
Okay.
about your stand-up
Yeah,
because
so I
it sounds
just-
pretty cool.
I do stand-up comedy.
Mhm.
Now, I've been doing it a few times. Just open mic nights around Melbourne, and yeah, but the main routine is, the main story is this Bieber story, and kind of going up from that, and how I was called Bieber in high school a lot. Like, people just like, you look like Bieber, and that was horrendous being in high school because, you know, obviously as a guy I've got to hate Bieber at that time. And then just kind of flowing into how I get out of high school, go on this tour, and then you meet all these people, and you meet all these single girls, and you're trying to talk to them, and then this waiter who's way better looking than you, this six-pack Italian waiter with shirtless, he's not shirtless when I tell the story, he's shirtless, he comes out, you know, baby oil on, not at all, but in when I tell the story, and he just says you look like Justin Bieber, and everyone loses their shit laughing, and then everyone on this tour now calls you Bieber, and it's like, how do I combat this? You get fucked up and sing Bieber in front of hundreds of people. That's how you do it. And I did
Nice.
that. And then it's just a flowing story from there where I kind of embellish in the stand-up routine and stuff. But I've been writing other stuff as well.
What Bieber song did you go for then?
Baby. It's the only one
Oh,
I know.
it's
Do you even
classic.
have to ask that question? Like,
Nowadays you do.
obviously,
It was-
He released his new album.
It was
His
20.
new
It was
album's
2014.
massive.
I did this happened when I was in Italy. It was like a couple of years ago. So
Yeah, yeah.
that new album.
This was
wasn't around.
before he
You got
made
a
cool
good
music.
album.
Yeah, this was back in those days when it was cool to hate him. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really cool to hate him anymore.
It isn't really. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird. It's kind of taking a turn.
Yeah, you just kind of.
Yeah, speaking of which, it's now cool to talk about how much you love him because I love him personally.
That's not cool
I-
either, from my knowledge. Maybe it's just
No,
kind of.
I'd accept sex, Justin Bieber. If
sex.
he asked me, if he was like, "Hey mate, do
No,
you want
no.
this peanut?" I'd be like, "Yes, obviously."
Well, okay. Well, who would turn that down? No, this is the question. Okay.
I would turn that down.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
Dude,
Not very
no.
adventurous.
Conor McGregor. Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Yeah,
Now we're on the same wavelength. No, I'm a straight man. And
Okay.
I'm not into that.
I
But
understand.
like, I love Conor McGregor so much that if he's like, "Look, Tyler, I need this to happen," I'll be like, "I'll do this for you." Like, if it's necessary, because I've got to believe somehow this is going to win him the next fight. That's what I've got to believe in my own heart of hearts. Yeah. So that's that.
I don't watch UFC. I don't know what's going on.
You're missing out, man. You don't watch the greatest UFC fighter of all time.
Well, I can't start now.
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna be lost.
Well, that's how you learn. When you start, you're lost. You have no idea what anything is, but you just watch and enjoy and learn and
It's
discover.
like, oh, this guy is punching this guy. Fuck, that's good. Yeah,
Amateur
Yeah.
out here. Amateur.
love
out
it, man.
Oh, God.
Conor McGregor all the way.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So one final thing on the list to talk about, so we can start to wrap up this unprofessional podcast. Professional.
Oh, no, let's not wrap up. Let's go all night.
Let's go all night.
That's
Jesus
what
Christ.
Bieber said to me. Does everyone but me keep bottles of water in the house? Because I don't own bottles of water.
You don't own bottles
Well,
of water?
okay.
No,
So-
I don't. I love something that I need to explain. I love the taste of my bathroom tap water. It's the best.
Yeah, but that's what I do. I have a bottle that I fill up with tap water, and then I put in the fridge.
The thing is, for me, that the water here tastes disgusting. Like, Christchurch is world renowned for its taste of its tap water because we have a whole bunch of like tasty groundwater, apparently.
Yeah, I can just
in
imagine the taste
Christchurch.
of New Zealand water.
It's not all New Zealand water. Some New Zealand water tastes like shit, literally. But Christchurch tap water tastes great.
Literally.
Some of it has shit in it.
But does Arizona's taste bad?
Arizona's does not taste good at all. It tastes like chlorine and stuff. They put lots of
If
purifying
they put
stuff
chlorine
in
in it. Okay.
That's
there. Yeah,
weird.
because the water has to go so far to get to Phoenix, which is central Arizona.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's from the Colorado River.
Holy shit.
So it's actually, and it's all open air. So a whole bunch of crap gets in it. So they need to throw a whole bunch of chlorine in it. So it tastes not deadly, but by then it tastes like crap. So we just drink bottled water. And it's extremely wasteful, and I hate it so much, but the water tastes like crap.
Wow. See,
That's
Not
really
really.
shit.
I don't know if I've ever been anywhere in Australia that has bad tap water per se. It all tastes
I think
the same.
I'll look, Nick. I'll ship you some of my bathroom tap water over.
I'm not going to drink it. I'm
It's
not going to
the
drink it.
best tasting tap water in my bathroom. I can't explain it. If I have any
Okay.
water, like I have my bathroom tap water, it's the
Water.
best. Luke agrees with me.
Water.
Shut the fuck up, Tyler.
So, okay. So for my gap year, I'm going to go live in the UK for a year. So when I'm there,
Oh my god, come here. Have my tap
I'll
water.
come to you.
Have
We
my
can
tap
do
water.
Plan. Okay.
We can do an episode of Animus Island or Kill Chronicle if you're still doing it in 2 years' time
We
from
will.
your
Of course.
bathroom, and like
See?
I can just be drowning in your bathroom tap water while we're doing the podcast. How about that?
That sounds like fun. I'm up for it.
Jesus Christ almighty. Okay. Kill Chronicle podcast from the bath. Join us in the bath.
Me and Aftermath take a bath together.
That could be amazing. Okay. We're gonna head towards the finish line here with
You've already said that once before,
I know,
and it didn't happen.
and yeah, that's true. That's very true. And that is, I wanted to ask you, Nick, where do you overall, in terms of Assassin's Creed, to jump back after we've talked about Tobuscus and tigers and animals and other random shit, to go back to
Okay.
Assassin's Creed and all this stuff that's going on, where would you like to see Assassin's Creed go? Not necessarily a setting, but just what do you think would help the franchise develop into a better direction from where it seems they went after the Ezio trilogy and stuff to all the way to Unity and where all that went wrong? How do you think Ubisoft bounce back and make it not necessarily what
Okay.
it was, but to a level of which everyone's excited to play it again?
Stop focusing on Europeans. No one cares about Europeans. They conquered the entire planet. They're no longer the underdogs. Let's go look at some underdogs, and it'll be pretty cool.
Like
Maybe
who?
no more 18th century. I'd say maybe like the
Ancient
Egyptians.
Egypt.
Ancient Egypt. Or China. China during the... I forgot what word it is. Opium Wars would be interesting because they were being beat up by Europe and
That's a
Britain.
random saying.
We could go. Well, we've talked about that on Amazon. You should go check it out. Or
I will do.
Punic Wars. Punic Wars were a war between Carthage and Rome. Carthage, of course, Rome is European, but Carthage is in North Africa, which would be super cool to see. Talked about that on Amazon too. Yeah, just let's go further back in time, explore what history can give us, which is a whole lot more than just white guys doing stuff. And I think we'll be cool.
It's a fair
I
point.
wish Ubisoft would. Tyler, cut this out. Cut this all out. Just cut it out.
I'm just eating lollies now, enjoying. I've sat back
Who's
enjoying
letting me
this.
talk anymore? I should just stop. After this, I'm gonna go get a bottle of bleach. I'm gonna get a glass. I'm gonna take a shot, and then I'm gonna collapse on the ground and
good
froth
God.
from the mouth.
I'm just going to take the back seat here, eating lollies, enjoying you ruin your reputation.
I had to let everything out on this one.
What do you have to let out? Didn't you tweet the other day, I've let it go?
Santa.
I've let Unity go?
I've
This
let
has
Unity
turned into
go.
therapy with James.
I've let Unity go, but
You haven't at all. You spent today, most of
I
today.
have.
How can we help James
know-
get through this?
Can I just say I streamed Unity yesterday, I think,
Why
for
did you?
about 53 minutes. And because I put a poll up on Twitter saying which AC game do you want to play. I put like a list because people like play Unity, so I was like, okay, I'll do a poll. So I put on Brotherhood, Unity, AC4, and Syndicate, and everyone voted for Unity. So I played Unity for 53 minutes on a stream, and I had to put up a glitch counter, and I got 5 glitches in 53 minutes. So that's like a glitch every 10 minutes in a prison.
Edit this out, please.
I can't
Help
put this
me.
in. I just can't, in my heart of
Help me.
hearts, put this in because I know I don't think James understands how bad what he's saying is.
Tyler, help me. Fucking help me.
Okay, it's alright.
So I'll help.
Oh, fuck
Tyler,
me.
did you know that? What was that, James?
He's just
Oh, man.
he's just upset with himself. It's alright, man. This is what happens every other episode. Keep going, Nick.
Yeah, keep going.
Did you know that lollies means a very different thing in the US?
What is that?
Lollies?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
do
Well,
you mean?
in New Zealand and as far as I understand in Australia, it's just like sweets or candies.
Yeah, sweets.
Yeah,
Like, right.
it's like hit.
Yeah. Well, in the US, not everyone knows this, but it's one of those terms that those anime people talk about when they talk about underage girls.
What the
What the
fuck?
fuck?
Oh god, I want to suck a lovely lolly. Jesus Christ, when I'm in America, I'm gonna get imprisoned for that.
It's not like a common term or anything, but it's what those anime people talk about.
Oh yes.
So yeah,
Okay, lolly's
Not a
just
thing.
candy.
yeah. I've learned to say candy.
How long have you
Really?
lived in Arizona for since leaving NZ?
So I'm a junior in high school now,
Sure.
almost graduating to senior, and I came here when I was just coming into freshman. I don't know if those terms make any sense to you people. Because-
Vaguely.
No sense to
I
me.
assume seniors grade 12, or in New Zealand you have to grade 13, I believe.
Yes.
We don't have grades here, so I'm lost on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
do you know what the one that makes the least sense? English schools. Their
No, they make
system
the
is-
most sense.
No, it makes
Oh, you guys have
0
pick-
sense. 0 sense.
It makes the most sense. You
don't
literally
understand.
start school
How-
in year 1 and you leave in year 11. Like, that's the simplest thing in the world.
But then you have
That's
in-
Australia
in
goes
college
grade...
and university are two different things.
Well, yeah,
does that
college
work?
is like college is a thing before university.
which
Like
doesn't-
college
isn't a
is
thing
college
anywhere
is,
else in the world. It's just...
Yeah, I don't care. Fucking British Empire was a thing. Gotta help. Both of you gotta help.
Yeah, but now you got Dodgy Dave, so that's fun.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
You go from... Australia's just grade 1 to grade 12. You graduate school, that's it. And then you can either go to university, go work, or go to TAFE, which is just like community college, I guess, in the US
Or be a
terms.
prostitute.
US has, well, New Zealand has years 1 through 13 and then university. So it's very easy. 4 years at university.
same. That's literally the
US
same.
has.
But you have names
The US
for it
has-
that's weird.
No, we don't.
Okay,
What?
I'll explain it real quick.
Oh, you mean US?
Yeah,
They
US.
have names for it here. Oh, okay, yeah, they have stupid
So
names because
there's actually a discrepancy. So grade 2 in the US is year 1 in Australia and New Zealand. I don't know how England works because that's just the crazy land over on the other side of the Atlantic. So the way it in the US works is it's called like you have kindergarten, which is kind of grade 1, kind of. Then you have grades 2 through 8, which are middle school and elementary, or primary and intermediate for New Zealand. Don't know what else elsewhere. In high school, we have intermediate in New Zealand. It's not too common, but it's pretty common. Which is just school that everyone hates because everyone hates themselves and hates everyone else. And then high school and college both have 4 years each. And this is where we get the names. This is the only place we have the names. And the names are very simple. We have freshman, sophomore,
junior,
Why?
and senior.
just junior, senior, exactly. So it's not
Why?
it's not spelled how you would think. I don't know why. And it's exactly in that order. So grade 9 here in the US would be freshman.
Yep.
Grade 10 is sophomore, like that, to grade 12.
Yeah, I think I get that. Yeah.
And then we have the same thing in college. It's named the same. So you go from being a senior in high school
Yeah.
to a freshman in college.
Ah,
I
fuck
don't know,
America.
that part does confuse me, and the transitioning is also confusing because I was year 11 in New Zealand and I came in the start of grade 9 here. So there's that discrepancy, which is a little confusing. But the names I find very simple, although the fact that we use the same for high school and college is kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Generally,
That's
if you hear
odd.
someone say, if they don't mention they're from high and they're in high school, if you hear them say when I was a junior, they mean college in general.
Well, I
So
wouldn't
that's
know
just,
that.
That's just the rule.
I
Well, now
just
you do.
assumed they were like, how old? Like 13, 15? How old are you when you're a junior in high school?
I'm 17 now, and I'm junior.
Well, that was off, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
how was junior's the one
Jesus.
before senior, and senior you'd be 18. So why would that be a thing you'd guess?
Oh, well, because in England you finish school when you're 16, so I just assumed like
Dudes,
Before
everyone
you
finished
finish-
school. See, that's the weird thing, man. That's why you're weird.
because it's you like you have to stay in education until you're 18 now. Like that's a law. It didn't used to be, but it is now.
But what else
so you
do
can
you
either
do?
study A levels, which is you can do A levels, which
What's
is
that? See,
year
that's what's
12
weird.
and 13.
That's what's weird. You call them A levels, or you do
Yeah,
something
because they're
else.
A levels.
Are
Or
they
you
B
do, or
levels?
you go to college. No, that's not B levels. I don't know why they're called A levels. I don't. No idea why they get you do AS and then you do A2. I don't know what the fuck they're for. They're fucking stupid.
I don't know
I did
what
a
those
year
are.
of A levels and then I left because it was fucking shit. And then you go to or you could do college, which is where you get like a diploma in like something. Like I'm doing
like
games
a,
design.
So not a bachelor's degree or like associate. So it's a certificate
No,
of
no, no.
diplomas,
No, because then yeah, and then you go to university after that.
which will be bachelor's degrees.
If you want to, yeah. University is the same. Like I think that's the same internationally. University is the same.
Yeah, well, I'm at
But-
university now, which is a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, it'd be the same as where you are. University here is the same as like university for you, but college is something completely different in England.
You're
And
a
it fucks
busy guy.
everyone up.
What's up?
It does. You're a busy guy, Dynamite.
I am.
College, work, and YouTuber. That's madness, man.
Yeah, well, to pay the rent, you got to do what you got to do. I
Hmm.
do a few things. I don't do much else outside of because I work full time and then I study full time, and then podcast.
How do you manage that? If you do, how can you work full time and study full time? Surely you have to have like two lives, like Hermione's Time Turner from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I just
if it's full time, how can you do something else full time? Because it's full time.
full time's like,
like
let's say
full,
I
it's like
work
all of your time.
like for example, full time university is probably like I go in 3 times a week to classes.
That's not fucking full time.
But that's what
not-
full
I don't
time
count
is.
that
I
as
do
full-time.
full time amount of classes workload, so it is full time. That's what it's called.
That's weird. That's weird because at college I do a full time course, and that's 4 days a week actually.
And then I go and I work 40 hours. Like for example, like this week I work 40 hours. And
Fuck
then
that.
I go to university 3 days a week, and then obviously do assignments in between, and then you make it work. I'm obsessed, I think is the best way to
Yeah.
describe it.
The day that I get a real job is the day I put a noose around my neck and kick the bucket, because that's not. I'm a lazy fuck, so that's gonna get me nowhere. Like the day I get hired is the day I get fucking fired for doing no work because I'm horrendous at anything.
I get a job the day I get back from PAX East. So,
Where are you gonna
I'll
work?
tell you how it goes.
Oh,
Just the
don't-
grocery
just-
store. That's just down the road.
Grocery store. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
It's a good way to start the humble beginnings. I was just
Wait, actually,
what's that?
I worked. I did a job. I did actually work once.
Well,
It
there you
I
was-
go.
did actually work
Listen,
once.
let me tell
One
you,
time.
it was. I used to live next door to this guy who did like he owned his own company, and he still does this stuff where he like goes around. I still don't know exactly what he does. It's like he goes around to places that want like things installed, I guess. Like they wanted like a new network system in this school, and I went to work with him for a week. And after a week, I wanted to kill myself. It was the worst thing I'd ever done in my life.
You got to do something you
I
want to
just
do,
kinda-
or at least like it's about making money, and it's about
Yeah,
there's a lot of value to it.
It
and-
was. Yeah, it was more my mum making me do it. That was what it was. My mom was like, "Hey, you should do this." I'm like, "No." She was like, "No, you're fucking doing it though." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Slitting my own throat now," and I had to do it. Like she made me do it, so I did it. But it was terrible. It was horrendous. She was like, just try it. If you don't like it, then don't do it. But it's an opportunity that's there, like to work for him and that kind of thing. So it's like, well, I might, I'll do it. See what it's like. Because if I enjoy it, then I'm getting paid for it, and I like it. Might as well do it. But it was horrendous. It was not my kind of thing at all. It was a lot of manual work. And you've seen me, Tyler. I had the arms of a small tree that's just been planted. That's me.
So I've had a job since I was 14, and I've never not had a job since then.
I feel bad about it because I'm such a lazy fuck, and it's not fair because I still get money, and obviously I get paid from this stupid shit.
Yeah, that YouTube.
But my grandparents as well. If I don't have money, they're just like, take this. I'm like, I'd feel really bad. And they're like, just fucking take it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, okay. Sometimes they pay money into my bank account without me knowing. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So I have really generous grandparents.
You do, yeah. See, yeah, no, I'm
It's
just
crazy.
Yeah, my parents don't even do that for me, so.
I just have really, really generous parents and grandparents that just help me. Like when I was I because with YouTube, obviously I want to the goal for me is to aim to do it as a career kind of thing. And when I told my parents, they were extremely supportive. So my grandparents were like, "Oh yeah, go for it. Like if that's something you want to do, try and do it." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks a bunch, guys. You're really cool."
And that was like when I told my parents, I was just like, "So, when I finish high school, I'm going to move." From Brisbane to Melbourne. I was like, I'm going to move out and study. And they're like, well, if you do that, we can't, it's a lot of money. It's all this and that. It's not like we can afford to pay for you to go live in another place and blah, blah, blah. I said, no, I know. It's cool. I got this. I mean, my parents always supported me and always helped me. And I'd never go without, food or anything. But I mean, I don't need it at the same time as well. Like I've got it locked down. I've been doing this long enough now. So I've got it figured out more or less at this point. So it's just what I do now. Like it sounds like I do a lot, but when you just do it, it's whatever. You're used to it. It's just normal.
Yeah, I think it's like the way that my parents do a lot for me, but I'd never take it if I didn't need it. It's like if I don't take it for granted or anything like that. It's like they give things to me and it's like, wow, I really appreciate the amount that my family actually does for me. It's ridiculous, but
you'll appreciate
it's never
it more
something that I
when
take
it's
for
not
granted
there.
and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
Because I've got two of my friends staying with me at the moment, and it was the first time I came home from work last night, and they had dinner cooked for me, and I almost cried. I was like, oh my god, it was the nicest thing anyone's. I forgot what it's like to just come home and I don't have to do anything. It was so nice.
Oh god, I'm gonna make Elva do that for me.
From when you come home from what?
Fucking bitches.
Oh my god.
Disclaimer: I don't fuck bitches.
Oh, James, he's dug himself a hole today. He's dug himself a big hole. But anything else you guys wanted to talk about today?
Probably not.
No, not really. Report back, update from the beginning. Far Cry Primal on Survivor, permadeath is really hard, and I'm liking it. It's good.
Did you die?
I did die last night one time, so this is my second run.
It's really
but I haven't died just yet.
So
you get sad?
You got to start all over again.
You're like, oh, I died.
The worst part of starting all over again is I have to watch the cutscenes again, which are really long.
No. They should put it in so if you want to play survival mode, don't have to literally start from the beginning. You can start from when you get into the open world.
Or you can create a checkpoint yourself.
What do you mean?
You could almost set it to checkpoint once every hour or once every 2 hours. So that way it's still tough, but it's not fucked. If that makes sense.
Yeah, if you're playing on PC, you could always just use console commands if it has console commands. I don't even know. Does it?
I play on PS4, so no.
Well, in that case, no one knows but me, because I'm the one who has it. So, I'll look into it, guys. I'll get back to you.
Well, Nick, thank you for joining us. I hope we didn't traumatize you too much.
No, not at all. Anytime that you guys need a guest, I'll hear. If I'm at school, then just give me a call and I'll drive home, and I'll be here.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. It's
Feel
always
free.
good. It's always good talking to you and you putting up with us. I appreciate that.
I want to ask something before we end,
Sure.
real quick. Is because we haven't really covered it. Like, I suppose partially we haven't really. Is that whenever we have a guest, we want to ask them opinions on Connor, since we're called the Kill Connor Club. Like, what are your thoughts on Connor?
I feel like we talked about this on my one, but I'll give you the answer.
Okay.
I like Connor, actually.
Fuck off.
I don't have an issue with him. I think they handled him very badly. I think that the only time his personality and his actually nice side is shown is in the Homestead missions.
Mhm.
I think that was a big blunder on Ubisoft's part to only make him a likable character in those side missions.
See, those are the
but-
bits that I loved, was the Homestead missions.
Yeah. But, yeah, I like him overall. But I think that Ubisoft really fucked him up. And it makes me sad that they're not going to try again because he doesn't sell well because they fucked him up.
That was the best description. Like, Ubisoft fucked him up, but I like him. I really like it, but they fucked him up. I'd love to see what you think of a character when they actually get the character right. Like, when they don't fuck up.
Like Ezio.
Okay.
Like Ezio. When
Ezio,
they
for
get him
example.
spot on.
Ezio's pretty cool. And that's my thoughts on Ezio.
More than fucking cool.
Straight to the point. Well, thank
Best
you
character
again.
in video games ever.
That's true. I'd
Oh, no,
agree
thank
with that.
you. Thank you for having me. It was certainly a wild ride. I don't know how much of this is being edited. Probably not much.
None of it.
It's
not
It's
much.
Kill Connor Club. We don't edit
Definitely some of it. Definitely some of it.
much. Maybe.
But I don't know how much.
No,
Maybe. We'll see. We'll leave it up to Tyler. What I want is for when you're editing this, Tyler, to have a lot of alcohol in your system. That way we know we'll get the best Kill Connor Club ever. Might be the end of our career, but we'll get the best podcast.
Yeah, I love
And
how
mine.
you've ended my career without me doing anything.
That's what you get when you team up with me. It's why I have no friends on YouTube other than you
Yeah,
and Ethan. That's it.
that's right, man. I'm loyal.
Everyone
I'll go-
hates.
I'll go down. I'll go down with you.
I think I've just realized that's why no one makes videos with me. Wow.
What do you mean?
Just realized. Well,
Big
because they're
realizations here on
afraid.
this episode of the Kill Connor Club.
They're afraid that I'm going to do something wrong. Like, I'm surprised Brett asked me to be on the Dead Set cast. Genuinely, I'm surprised. I was like,
I was surprised
wow.
Fucking savage.
Oh, God.
I was like, really, Brett? Wow, I guess Brett's going to be editing a whole lot, I guess. And then,
Oh, God.
James, what would I do without you? I wouldn't.
I guess.
What would I do? But yeah, there
I
might
don't know
be.
what you'd do. Probably still have like 500 subscribers, probably.
Oh, get the fuck
my
out of
God.
here!
Holy
Get the fuck out of here! I had thousands before I did a video with you. You fuck. And so, that's alright.
Those
It's alright because
4,000 that you've got since are all from me.
it's alright because soon I'll have all of them because I'll fucking destroy you at Assassinscreed multiplayer and you'll have fucking none.
Yeah.
So don't worry, I'll shut that.
Um,
I'll shut that smug mouth up.
I'm a fucking dick. I'm an arsehole.
That's alright, James. You're my arsehole, so it's fine.
What?
Did you hear what that was going to sound like before you said it?
I did, and I just went for it anyway. I was just like, I've just got to double down on it. That
Yeah.
That's always the
I-
worst.
That he is my asshole. Yep.
I'll continue to be your arsehole.
If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly.
Bear
That's
Grizzly.
how it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. There might be
Okay.
some editing, and we'll figure it out. So
This
yeah,
has been a good one.
it's been
If you're going to
interesting.
attack a bunch of Indians
think it
and
was
an
anyway.
elephant, be a tiger.
And be a
That's a
tiger.
good one.
I'm still sitting on the paws, like tiger jumping up and attacking that guy.
The
So
best.
yeah,
Okay.
there'll be some definitely editing in there, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, I thank you again. I know James thanks you, even though he...
Oh, by the way, links in the description for
Animus
Nick's
Island. Yep.
shit.
Animus Island, and also
Your
my
Twitter?
personal YouTube channel where I sometimes post stuff. Twitter. You can find myself everywhere as Aftermath1231. I don't know if we ever mentioned that, but that's me, Aftermath
Okey-dokey.
1231.
We'll whack all that in
Twitter,
the description. If
YouTube.
you're watching it on YouTube, so.
Reddit.com/r/Assassinscreed for that stuff.
Okey-dokey.
Phenomenal.
Cool.
Thank you very much again, and I hope everyone enjoyed this controversial and
I
just
certainly did.
banter-filled episode of Kill Connor Club, as always and as promised. And we'll be back next week with Gabe Graziani, hopefully, community developer at Ubisoft Montreal, formerly
Just make
of
sure to put this
Assassin's
out after we do the podcast.
Yeah, okay, that's right. And hopefully we can continue our YouTube careers in peace. Thanks, James, for fucking everything. And we will see you guys later.